Shinobi podcast.
Peace.
Welcome back for another episode of the Shinobi podcast, man. You got Mr. Smoov here. You got Tsunami over here.
What up, what
You
up?
got King Shinobi over here. I don't know. It's a phantom over here, I guess. That's somebody that's supposed to be
This
here.
man, George.
And now the whole world gonna know this motherfucker.
You
was
on
supposed
island
to be here.
time.
But yeah. I'm waiting on my man Jorge to get here. So
Man.
just get here safely, sir. Just get here safely. But yeah, man, we here with the fam, man. Tsunami came to join us.
Thank you for having me, fellas. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Tsunami actually kind of sparked this whole episode. We did an episode a couple weeks ago. We had our first little group reunion episode that we did.
That was a fam episode right there.
It was a great fam episode. And towards the end, Tsunami came up with this question that I just thought would be perfect just to save for an entire episode. So here we are now. And Sue, tell the people what that question was. Let them know what we're going to be discussing today.
So I have this thing, man, where I always ask people these questions like, what is your top 5 movies, top 5 favorite albums, all of that. So my question last pod was, if you were stuck on an island and you had 5 movies that you had to take with you, what you taking? And I always say that the 5th slot could always hold 2, 50-50. So 2 movies could be in the 5th spot. So technically you get 6 movies. But I know how once you get to that 4 or 5 area, it gets a little tricky. You know what I mean? It gets a little hard because then once you answer that 5, then you start thinking of a whole another 10, 15 that hits you. You're like, oh, shit.
Then you start thinking about how it made you feel, and you're like, damn, I want to put this one in there.
Yeah, man. Which, I'm going to be honest, it's fair. It's super, there's no rules to it. So your 5 can always change. You know what I mean?
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, so, because my 5 always changes. I think it just depends maybe how I'm feeling. I got my all-time classics, like my all-time favorites that I grew up with. But like,
we're going to get into that too.
Yeah, man. Let's break it down. Let's have a good time, man. It's going to be a fun episode.
All right, Mr. Smoov. You going to go first, man. It's on you.
I'm on an island.
Yeah.
5. Definitely would go Remember the Titans.
Solid.
Very solid.
I'm a Batman guy, so if I could have like the Batman trilogy, like that whole collection as one, then I would do that. I like fantasies and magic kind of stuff too, so it'd definitely be like, again, if I could put it all in one collection, it'd definitely be like the Harry Potter series.
My dog.
just for like that magic stuff there, like I gotta have it.
What's your favorite one?
Out of those,
that's 7 right there, man.
Yeah. There's either like Goblet of Fire, or what's that? Either the first Half-Blood Prince. What's the one? Was it him and old buddy get stuck in the tunnels and the Dementors come out and he's got
the 5th one.
I think that might be the Order of the Phoenix.
So 5.
Yeah, that's the 5th one.
Yeah, that's it. So 5. Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, first Half-Blood Prince. My like top 3 out of that 7.
So the Half-Blood Prince is the 6th one. Then you got the 7th one that's broken down into 2 parts. So you got So the first Deathly Hallows, or you like the Half-Blood Prince?
No, the Deathly Hallows. Then I'm thinking of. I don't know why I was thinking they split Half-Blood Prince down, but
that's like the one
getting ready for that final fight too. Yeah,
bro.
The fight.
That final battle scene, dude, is nuts. Nuts.
Sheesh. No, go ahead. I was going to
say, Mrs. Weasley, bro. Mrs. Weasley. Body Bellatrix. Dated.
Not my daughter.
Yeah, you bitch. Caught her. Stoned her. Quite literally.
All right, let's keep that list going.
4. Man. The last two
Gets
tough.
tough, man.
So what have you gone? Go do a recap real quick.
So Remember the Titans, the Dark Knight trilogies, all that Batman trilogy there,
Mm-hmm.
The Harry Potter series. 4 I would say, man, I would probably the X-Men, like the X-Men, but mostly like Wolverine, his stuff. So if I had to break that down, it'd probably be it might be Logan instead, like in the start, him becoming legit Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one I think had so much shit going on in there.
Damn, you just helped me figure out my fifth one.
Freaking ninja fights, brotherly fight. You had man just like mentally just checked out of everything, and then just having somebody come like believe in, like pick him back up, and everything just turned around, like his whole world turned upside down. And then 5, whew.
That might be the toughest one right there.
Remember, excuse me. Remember, 5 can be two movies.
Oh, it can be 2 of them. Okay,
Like, so half this one, half that one.
5.
You know how I broke that down? I was like, you get your 5 and then you sneak one on. Like you sneak a movie
every
in there.
time. Every time, man.
I'm trying to think. Probably Training Day. Training Day would definitely be 5.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
And what else? Like We Are Marshall's kind of like in there just because of my whole like sports past. But if I gotta sit down and watch a movie, I'll and just hear it in the background and not have to pay too much attention to it, and I can still get the feelings from it. We Are Marshall is definitely one of those movies.
You know, I haven't seen that, and I definitely need to. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one I've always. I don't know why I haven't watched it, but that's one I've always wanted to see, and I haven't sat down and watched that one.
I think I watched that
bring you,
once or twice.
It might bring you to your knees a little bit, just a little bit.
Is that the one homeboy has to carry dude on his back and do the bear crawls?
Nah, that's Facing Giants. Now, We Are Marshall had Matthew McConaughey.
Did it have Anthony Mackie?
Yes.
Okay.
And they had their original, like their team coming into the movie had passed away in a plane crash.
Yeah.
So they did a whole like remembrance thing in there, which is it was really good because it's based on a true story and everything. So, I don't know. That might be why I like that movie so much too. Is it's a real life thing that happened. So.
Right. Was that the whole list?
Yeah, that was my 5 and 6 in there.
Okay. So it was
Remember the Titans.
Yep.
Harry Potter.
Batman trilogy.
We Are Marshall.
Yep. Training Day. Yep.
Solid.
It's a nice little mix.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good mix.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Speaking on Batman, dude, I had just watched in a long time, I just watched Batman Forever.
Bro.
With Val Kilmer.
Bro.
Yo.
I probably watched that one more than any because me and my brother, bro.
I used to be obsessed with that.
That was one of those movies I could have watched every day.
Shit.
Kind of movies, yeah.
I was obsessed with that movie, especially the scene where like they were in the circus with Robin's family.
Yeah.
That scene used to have me. And when when Robin stole the Batmobile and dipped out and like went into like the streets and they got into that huge like blowout with like that neon gang. Like
he went over to the red light district.
Essentially, yeah, bro. Bro, I forgot who shot that one. I think Who directed that one?
That was
I don't remember who directed
that was
bro.
was that Ridley Scott? No.
I do not remember.
here. I got us. I'll find it out for us real quick.
Bro, but the colors in there, it's like it's such a 90s ass movie. You know, speaking of Batman, man, one thing I do appreciate about Batman and all the movies is Gotham. Is how Gotham looks and is portrayed in every single Batman movie, bro. They're all different.
Yeah.
All of them. Like
has
if you
its
look
own
at
tone of its own dark tone.
yeah, but that's what like the one that in Batman Forever is like mad colorful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like super like 90s is the best way I can explain. Like it's like mad super 90s. Batman and Robin was dope too.
Yeah, because you had Jim Carrey's character.
He bodied the Riddler, bro.
Super like vibrant and
yeah, bro, with the green. That question mark is
his hair.
The red hair. Yeah. Facts. His costume was on point too.
Yeah, you was right. Yeah, you're right. They were bright colors in Batman Forever. That probably is what attracted us to it. Back in those days. And then it started to take this darker tone, especially when it got into Nolan's Batman series.
Yeah, bro. He had the best series for sure.
Those are definitely my favorite.
Those are like arguably some of the best, like that might be the best superhero movie to ever come out, bro. And I'm not even a DC. I'm more Marvel, but I don't think actually like to this day I could watch Batman trilogy more than I could actually watch the Avengers saga.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Personally,
because Batman just seems more real.
Exactly.
Because like I remember when The Dark Knight when that first came out, and I remember being in the theater watching that and just sitting here being like, I feel like I'm watching like a superhero mob movie.
Yeah,
and it was, and I really liked that. You know what I'm saying? It really had some realism to it.
That's why I like this newest Batman that just came out. I like that one a lot.
I need to watch that one again. Actually.
A lot of people, you got a lot of flack, but I actually enjoyed it, man. One, I like the take that they did with the Riddler. The dude who they got to play the Riddler absolutely bodied it. He was the same guy. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Prisoner.
No.
With Hugh Jackman.
I haven't seen that.
And Terrence Howard, that movie you gotta see. It's like a psychological thriller. Like this kid, Hugh Jackman's daughter and Terrence Howard's daughter gets kidnapped. And like the whole movie is them figuring out who did it and like the dads, Hugh Jackman essentially going kind of crazy. Great fucking movie. Like great movie, dude. Super intense. Really good storyline. Really good plot twist. It's a good one. Definitely check it out. But the dude who played the Riddler, bro, I like how the take that they did with that and made him into a serial killer. Because it was kind of like some Zodiac. It was like I thought it took after the Zodiac killer a little bit. Because like the encrypted riddles.
I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I thought that was pretty cool. Also, granted, the Penguin was always a mobster, I believe. But I like how they really Colin Farrell did a great job playing him as an actual mobster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That one just felt a little more real to me too than the actual Nolan ones. A little bit. You know what I mean? It was darker too, though. It was definitely darker. They took like the emo kind of goth approach.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's one I need to watch again because I watched it. One day I was at work, I watched it, but I haven't really sat down and like really absorbed that one. But I know, from what I was watching, I know once I sit down and start to catch everything, get a nice sit down and more detailed look, then I'm pretty sure I'm gonna feel the same way because just through kind of paying attention to it the first time I watched it, I saw some cool things in it. So I'm definitely gonna go back for another watch of that.
Yeah, I would say so. I thought that movie's dope. I thought it was dope as shit. It's 3 hours too. It didn't feel like it though. But
So you ready to go down?
Because they do a bunch of like.
Oh, go ahead.
I was saying the Batman stuff like I love how they do the movie wise, and then they do when you go to do like crossovers. Well, not really crossovers, but like they'll pull stuff from like the TV shows they'll pull actors from the TV show like they did Gotham, and then they end up pulling the guy that was like Gordon at the time. I can't remember his first name. It's something Levitz, but they pulled him, and then they ended up bringing him into like the actual Batman movies, which was dope as all
Gordon
get out.
Levitt.
I think they pulled him into the Dark Knight Rises when he fought
Bane.
Yeah, when he fought Bane, they pulled him into that, and I was like, "Yo, that's the dopest shit right there." Just to pull from the TV shows like that, and still, um, they still be able to keep their whole like demeanor and everything from how they went from how they were on the show to who they are in the movie still. So, I did like that too. So that was another reason why like the Batman trilogies are my like top for sure.
I feel that.
That's it. That's in my island movies. The Nolan Dark Knight trilogy.
Just to know, yeah.
Oh, there, sir.
Oh, look who we have here. Smooth. Someone just entered the room, everyone.
Our honorary special guest, huh?
What's up, baby?
How you doing, sir?
Yo.
We just
Hey,
going through
fresh.
our list right now. Smooth
Fresh,
just gave
buddy.
his.
What's good?
Smooth just gave his. Me and Sue, we about to dive into ours. Smooth, let Jorge know. Well, Jorge, I'm sorry. Let him know
Listen.
what your movies were. Give him a little
So we
recap.
went Training Day, Remember the Titans, the Dark Knight trilogies, the Harry Potter series, and I had We Are Marshall in there.
Okay. That was solid.
Yeah. I can't hear
Nice.
his mic.
Sue, go ahead and start yours. Continue.
Let's see here, man. This is always tough for me, even though I always ask the question. It's always tough for me. Let me get out the way, bros. Yeah. Let's see, man. Top 5 on the island. I would say no particular order in the 5, though. You know what I mean? I love them
feel
all.
that.
I would say, all right, let's see. The Goonies.
Hey,
That's my favorite movie of all fucking time. Like, that's
That's a
definitely
classic.
number 1. That's my favorite movie of all time. I watched that movie. You would not want to watch that movie with me because I could recite it probably line for line. But like, The Goonies. Yo, I've watched it growing up, but I just really recently sat down and like analyzed it through and through. But The Godfather, bro, 1, top tier. Top tier. Like, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, for sure. Shout out Martin Scorsese. But yeah, I'd say The Godfather 1. Coach Carter.
That's good.
Let's see. Man. This is getting tough now. This is like, oh my, hold on.
Turn the volume up a little bit. I can hear him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear George at all?
Try again.
1 2 1 2.
Yeah.
You heard him?
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Turn his mic up just a little bit. I can hear him. I can hear him good, but he's a little like low still.
Let's just hear him. He's 10. I know it.
I can pick him up real good.
How you been, dude?
Good, man. Staying busy. Getting old.
Getting wise, young fella.
Getting wise, yeah. I freaking trimmed my beard the other day, and I found like I had a patch of just like gray that was just like solid. I was like, that ain't no good. Yeah.
Back rocking? Yeah, I got you. All right, so let's see. My top 5 on an island. I'm taking the Goonies. I got the Goonies.
Mhm.
I got The Godfather. I got Coach Carter. I got Good Will Hunting. And hold on. Gotta think. The Wood. The Wood is definitely number 5.
That's a classic.
That's my shit, yo. I could watch that
You never
movie.
seen The Wood?
Yo, Big Mike in the Wood. Yo, that movie, man. Yo, you gotta watch that. That movie is undefeated. So then so The Wood is 5th for sure. But then if I had to pick that other runner up, I'd probably say, man, that's tough. Probably Paid in Full.
Really?
Mm.
It's a really good movie.
That's a good one, yeah.
I think that's one of the like movies that I can say that even like as a young cat I watched, I was like, this movie makes me feel something.
For sure.
And in that moment, like when I was young, I didn't know exactly what I was feeling. But like as I grew older and watched it later on, I was like, damn, this movie does a really good job at like building up an attachment to a character, so then you can experience like the grief.
Making money
And
match.
it's like intense, bro. Like it's crazy. It's kind of crazy.
Smoov.
But yeah, good movie, man. Good movie.
Yeah.
Good choice.
You know it's based on a true story, right?
I actually did not know that.
Yeah,
I had
so
no clue.
Cameron's character is based off of Alpo, who was like a huge, notorious like street hustler in Harlem.
Mhm.
All 3. So Mitch, Money Making Mitch, he's based off of Rich Porter in real life, who was like a very well known. All 3 of these dudes is from Harlem, like in the movie. Rich Porter was like the first, out of them 3 who was getting money. He was a fly dude. Then AZ, who Ace is based off of. AZ was the AZ Faison. He was the young buck too. He's the one who put Alpo on, and then Alpo killed Rich Porter. That really happened. Yeah, that movie's real. That movie's based off of real shit, yo. And Dame Dash was a Rockefeller Records like movie. They went through Lionsgate to be the main production company, but Rockefeller Records, that was their shit. And Dame, he's from Harlem. He's from this group called The Best Out. And like, so he had like firsthand experience with like all like that whole era. So that movie was shot from like essentially a first person view of what actually was going on. There was, obviously some dramatization, Hollywood shit in there, but
Hollywood shit.
like the whole snitching thing at the end, that scene never actually happened. That never happened. But him getting
a good story though.
Yeah, but him getting shot in his house by his sister's boyfriend and all that actually happened. Like that really happened. But yeah, that's a great movie. Paid in Full. That's my runner up. And if I had to choose another one outside of that, it would be The Warriors.
Ooh, fire.
Warriors.
Yeah.
That's my shit.
I've only seen that once.
What? What? I had that movie on DVD. I had the video game for PS2. Best video game ever, by the way. Yeah. After Grand Theft Auto, it's The Warriors. Rockstar, I think, makes the best games ever.
Yeah, they did do a Warriors game. I forgot about that one.
And they did Bully. Like, Rockstar got it, bro.
Yeah, but you know what I didn't like about Rockstar, bro, is it made me feel like it was like GTA in a different way.
It kind of is.
Every time they pulled out a game, I was like, this is like Grand Theft Auto and like even Bully, bro. It was like Grand Theft Auto, but in school. Yeah, yeah. It was just like, I don't know.
No real guns, you got spud guns
But it was
and
a good
itching
game.
powder that you could throw.
Same thing with Red Dead.
Yeah, it's just the
GTA
Cowboys
no
version.
horses.
I've actually never played it, but I don't doubt it.
Red
I
Dead's
don't doubt
pretty
it
cool.
whatsoever.
That was a
Like
dope
Red
game.
Dead, yeah.
That was a dope
Red Dead
game.
was good.
I like the take they did on
They
that.
like it so much in New Time to make it in horseback riding.
I wish they made a movie. I wish they made it like a Rockstar game with like focused on like the Yakuza or like
I think that'd
something
be dope.
like that. That would be cool as hell.
Like old school, like
yeah,
times,
yeah,
like
that
old
would be
Japan.
super.
Yeah, I
like
think that'd be fire.
1920s,
like they running shit.
Yes.
Yeah,
black suits, all of that type shit. You
I
know
think
what I
that'd be
mean?
dope.
That would be ill, bro. That would be super ill.
There's a game called Yakuza.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like
it's very
arcadey though.
animated,
It's like it's very arcadey. It's dope though. It's cool. It's just very like the gameplay is like super like arcadish kind of like game, but it's dope. I've seen it before.
That reminds me of you guys ever played a game called Sleeping Dogs?
I do not believe so.
Sleeping Dogs. It was like it's a story of this undercover cop, and he's kind of infiltrating the Chinese triad, and
that's dope.
Pretty much becomes one of them and starts doing things, on the side of the law, but pretty much getting caught up in both worlds. You know what I'm saying? But it's a very cool third person kind of beat 'em up. You can use the environment, get bonuses for throwing people into the environment, but it has a great combat system. Think about Batman, Arkham City or something like that.
Fighting in that game is dope too.
It's a sleeper. It's funny that it's called Sleeping Dogs because a lot of people haven't played it. But it's a great fucking game. It's a huge sleeper as far as video games go.
What was that other one?
Watch
Dogs.
That was Hackers.
Game.
I've never played Watch Dogs. Man.
I've seen gameplay. Cool. I've never actually played it, but I think it's like a hacker based.
It's a hacker game. It was a cool concept. I thought it was pretty cool. All right,
it's a cult classic. Like people really like fuck with it, bro. Like even to this day, that like people still
kind of like Division.
Yeah, like Tom Clancy. You mean? Yeah. Tom
Dude,
Clancy's
I wanted
got their
to
own
like
subcultures
Division,
too.
Man.
They were on to something with that. They were serious. They were
Division.
heavily on to something.
There was something about the controls of Division that stopped me playing it. But dude, before it came out, dude, I was watching so many like developer diaries and gameplay. When I finally got my hands on it, it just didn't feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Was that one post-apocalyptic? Like, what was that one? That zombie? Was there like an apocalypse in Division? What was the?
I think this is more like.
No, I thought it was just Modern Warfare, basically.
Rebellion type of shit, like.
Nah, because you were like you had like rations and shit like that. Like it was like you had to like find things. It was kind of like The Last of Us. Like it was like you had to like find guns and like, you know what I mean. It wasn't like it was a lot of military shit going on, but it was like the city was locked. Like shit was locked down for a reason. Like it was controlled. Like I don't know. It was like martial law type looking shit. Like
I don't know.
But it was a cool looking. I've never played it, but the gameplay of it looked really good. But,
I know my brother loved it.
Yeah.
The Division.
You want to know something?
It just never grabbed me.
I found kind of funny that you just like touch up on. I've come to like I try not to like overhype myself over video games. Like if I'm excited about something that's a video game, I try not to get too over like indulged in it.
Yeah.
Because then what you describe ends up happening. Like I essentially hype it up too much in my mind, and then I get my hands on it, and I'm like, this is fucking garbage. And then like I'll like completely lose interest almost. Versus the games that I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Like I'm just gonna purchase it when it comes out, and then it comes out, and I start playing it. I've come to realize I enjoy them a little bit more than the ones that like I'm like, oh shit, let's like look the specs up and like let's look up the gameplay. What are developers saying about it? And then obviously it's like kind of comes down to a marketing strategy and they of course feel like it's an awesome game, but then consumers get their hands on it and like sometimes that flops.
Yeah.
But sometimes even the flops, I'm like, I enjoyed it for what it was and I can see why it flopped, but I still enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, because dude, back in the days when I used to go to GameStop a lot, dude, I used to get those $5 games and you would find some good
some gems, yeah.
Find some good sleeping
absolutely
in the clearance bin.
It's funny. So this not to get you, we about to go back into the movies, but while we on this game thing. Yeah, it's just lit. It's cool. Be here. While we talking about this game, do you think that it's just slowly my opinion, and I don't game like as much as I used to when I was a kid, but like, do you think Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and like the franchise games fucked up video games?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
because remember when you were younger and like there was so many different types of video games that came out that like you were open to just trying a bunch of different shit. Like when Final Fantasy, like for instance, like a Final Fantasy came out, like a Bully came out, like
you know what it is for me?
Like it's just I feel like there was like now finding new games, like those games you told me you were playing, like I never heard of them. I think I heard of one of them, but I'm like, dude, at one point I feel like games were marketed a lot more. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but like I feel like the video game world, and I could be very wrong, so gamers please don't fucking go ham on me, but like I feel like the video game world got overshadowed by like,
Consumerism.
by the consumers of
fuck
like
yeah.
like the
100%.
Fortnites now, like you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like the Call of Duties essentially kind of started with the Call of
don't
Duties.
get me wrong. Some of those video games are still good, and they'll continue. They changed the game for the better, I guess, of like their profit because they already knew they started a cult
Facts.
with whatever it is. Because you can find a cult in anything, and that's why they started remastering games, right? So
Yeah,
you have like the Crash Bandicoot
That's my
remasters.
shit.
So,
That's my
Nostalgia
shit.
as well.
a lot, yeah. They're pretty much profiting on like our nostalgia. I see it everywhere, not just in video games, in a lot of
Movies
things.
all day.
But
bro.
what ruined it for me in video games specifically is I remember before, you went to GameStop or wherever the fuck you were purchasing a video game from, and you paid X amount for the video game, right? X amount, whatever it was, $20, $40, $60, whatever. But you got the full game. Like that was the full experience.
Yes, man.
And now it's very much like you pay X price, let it be 20, 40, 60, whatever price it is. And then if you don't get like what they consider like the premium package or the deluxe package or however they want to wrap it up or the bonus features, whatever, you end up paying more for that video game and downloadable content than you would if you would have had just purchased like the deluxe version.
Totally.
And like, so it's like, it kind of sucks for me because games that I really, really want to buy, but I'm like, I don't really know if I want to spend that $80 to $100.
Yeah.
But I've done the math before where I've purchased specifically a franchise game and, I paid the lower end of it, like that $40. But then I wanted to keep playing with my friends that had the other downloadable content, but I couldn't. So I had to purchase maps or like whatever it was, right?
That's how they start. That's how they got you, especially like for you Call of Duty heads out there.
Yeah.
That was a point in time I was a super duper Call of Duty head.
I think everybody went through a phase.
Sure. I mean, I'm still playing it hard to the
It's
point
like,
that like I
I went
bought a
through-
PC almost strictly to buy Call of Duty.
I went through my phase with Serge. Like it's like with Sergio, like that was
Yeah,
like,
we still on it, bro.
Yeah,
We still,
that was like he
we
was
got
the
a whole
first
clan
person
and
who got
everything.
me into was it World at War?
World at War with the zombies. and
Yeah,
stuff.
he was the first person to get me into it. And I was
That
like,
was a good
I
one.
can get into this. And then after that,
Yeah.
I respect it. You know what I mean?
I don't think I
But-
played one since like Black Ops 3 might have been the last one I played, bro.
Don't worry, you're not missing out on much, bro.
I don't-
I
It's-
feel
it's
like,
a-
how much can you do?
it's a lot
How
of
much
lather,
different
rinse,
shit can
repeat.
you really?
Yeah, it's
like,
a lot. They're like video, like those specific franchises remind me of like the ridiculous franchises
Fast
and
and
movies.
Furious.
Yeah, where they're like, I
Mhm.
literally compare it to Fast and Furious. I'm like, they went Fast and Furious on that. Like that's the thing I say.
It's just a money grab.
Like like where they just like lost sight of the goal, and they're like, money, bro,
yeah.
money. It's not even about the game anymore. It's about the fucking money.
Dude, look at Grand Theft Auto, bro. Grand Theft Auto hasn't released a new game since I was a sophomore in high school.
Supposedly they've been they've been working on the GTA 6 for that long though.
That's over
Like
a
10
decade.
years,
It's
yeah.
over
It's like
a
10
decade, bro.
It- like I was watching I can't even remember what it was. It was something on Facebook or Instagram, social media, and they were breaking down the like release of GTA 6, and it's like I think they said like $1.2 billion in like production and
Jesus.
shit. Like once it releases, it's gonna be one of the most like
technologically like advanced, probably.
not
games.
just that, like one of the like most expensive projects in the video game world that they've released.
I just hope it doesn't.
Like, and
buff. Like,
supposedly like they're gonna like there's gonna be like active weather in it and shit too, like where all of a sudden like hurricanes are gonna pop out of nowhere and like tornadoes. Like honestly, like I was like what the fuck, this is some crazy like Ready Player One shit.
yeah,
like,
that movie's nuts.
Ready
bro.
Player One shit where like like now it gets to the point where even the weather is realistic. Like what the fuck.
Well, I hope they don't take a dive with that like Cyberpunk did, because Cyberpunk was like
Dude, I did.
they
I
had
couldn't
the recipe to get.
Did you play it?
I watched people play it, but a lot
I
of
played
people,
it and I was excited to play it, and that was another one where like just
Wow.
the mechanic is in the shooting. It just
I heard nothing but bad
very
things
very
about
early
it.
in my playthrough, I was just kind of like, oh, I really don't like this. You know what I'm
Damn,
saying?
that's funny.
And then I played a little more to give it more of a chance, and I could just never get glued to it. You know
And
what
that
I'm saying?
became like a cult sensation too. Like I see a lot of people that are like excited
Yeah.
about Cyberpunk to this day. So that's crazy.
It is a
that-
good anime if you watch the anime on Netflix.
Oh, that's what it's based
Edge
off of?
Runners?
that joint is dope. Yeah,
Ah,
it's
I
only
didn't
like
know that.
10 episodes or something, but it's real good.
Yeah, I started watching that. I'm like episode 3. It's pretty good.
I
Pretty
didn't know
good.
that at
It's
all.
pretty damn good.
Huh.
But you made me think of because I've always loved fighting games. You made me think of because I love Tekken.
Oof,
So
they ruined that. for
back
me.
in the day, you used to be able to just beat the game with specific characters and unlock the fucking
The special
unlockable
ones, yeah.
characters.
And you had to grind sometimes. like,
Yes.
on some like you had to like beat the whole game with every single character
Or
to
some
unlock
tower or level.
whatever
or
it
something.
was. But it was hard. Like it wasn't easy. It
You
was
had
a
to earn 'em.
process, and you had to earn them.
Yeah. And now it's like you get a fighting game now, and now it's like fucking half a game.
Yeah,
Because they actually, I've noticed this with Tekken.
it's like that with MK too.
Tekken now will make you pay for a fucking character that was in Tekken 1.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
They won't be a character that you can just get like right out of the gate.
Yep.
You got to pay for this guy.
it's
And
an,
this guy's been on the roster since
It's
the
an homage,
inception of it.
but you
know
gotta
what I'm
pay
saying?
for that
Day one.
homage, bro. Yeah, you gotta sacrifice for it.
That's the type of shit that like frustrates me about like them just wanting to make money and shit like that. It's like, bro, like you're pretty much giving people half a game and then having them pay for a whole game and more after. You know what I'm saying?
Because they know people pay.
That's
Yes.
exactly what it is, bro. It's one of those things where like if we came together as a society and we like, it's on some like the day that Earth stood still shit, you know, and you just showed these companies that like all that shit doesn't matter and we really don't want to buy those products because they start to suck, shit would change.
Yeah.
But since we're still very much locked into consumerism and like even myself, you know, like I just want I gotta have good things, nice things, like pretty things, you know, that we fall under the trap of larger companies and larger corporations that they're like, we don't give a fuck anymore. Like you're either gonna pay or you're gonna get this half-ass game. Either way, we're gonna get money out of you. So, you know, it's your move, falls in your court, and then most people are like, yeah, I really want to play that game. Like,
Well-
and that's specifically coming from a personal like headspace, you know, like where I'm like, yeah, like shit sucks. I don't want to pay that much money, but I really like that game. Like I want to play it. I want to play the succession of it or whatever the fucking case might be, you know. So
Did you guys ever play? There was this one fighting game, dude. Back in the day, it was it was like I don't remember the name of it, but you turn into these like each character has their own signature animal.
Bloody Roar, nigga.
yeah, it was Bloody Roar.
Bloody Roar. I know
That shit-
exactly what you're talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking about
Dude,
because I use the
love
wolf
that
character
game.
all the time.
The dude who could turn into a mole was a beast, bro.
Because he disappeared, bro. Yeah,
The mole, and then there was like a lizard
There's a
guy,
lion. I like
bro.
the lion.
dude.
yeah. The line was OP.
And there was a chick who was like a bat, like bro.
Yeah, yeah,
alright.
yeah.
Damn, man, they need to do that.
I'm glad
They
you.
need to
I'm
redo
glad
that,
y'all know
for
that
sure.
game.
Yeah, I know
bro.
exactly what you're talking
That
about.
game
bro.
was ill.
I
bro.
don't remember the name of the character, but he was the one that turned into a wolf, and that was like my go-to
Yes,
character.
I know what you're
My
talking about.
go-to
He was a good one.
He was a
character,
beast.
bro.
He was a good one.
What was the other one? There was another
Damn,
one.
I can't remember all of them now. I think they might have made. at
They
least
made like 2 or 3 of them. Yeah,
Yeah, they made it. Those are old school. That's like early 2000s.
Yeah, that was PS2, I believe.
Yeah, that's super
After
PS2.
PS2, I don't think
Nope.
I saw Bloody Roar come back.
Which sucks because that was a really
Maybe
good game.
PS3 at the most, but yeah, no, that was early in the game.
There was another one too.
Damn, that
This
was shit.
dude, that was a good Virtual Fighter. Have you guys ever
Yeah.
played?
Yep.
No,
I remember I don't know if you guys remember, but they had a console called the Sega Saturn.
I mean, I know the Sega, but
Anything Sega was a little before me, dog.
yeah, it was before my time.
This is the Sega Saturn. That shit
Nah, I
lasted
remember that.
About a month. Nobody bought that motherfucker. But I had a friend when I was a kid. He just happened to have one, man, and we used to always go to his house and play Virtual Fighter, bro. Virtual Fighter was good.
That's funny.
Who were the characters?
Nostalgic
Do you
time,
remember?
bro.
I can't really remember. I know they had.
There was a ninja dude in there who was a.
There was a
beast.
ninja dude. He was good. I liked him.
There was an old drunken master, kind of like dude.
Yeah,
kind of
he
looked
was
like Master
good.
Roshi.
He was actually good.
He was a
an
beast.
old dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they had this one dude, Wolf. I always remember him. He had red hair. He was like a UFC kind of like cage fighter, bro. He had paint on his eyes, like, bro. That game, yeah, Virtual Fighter, bro. I had
Main
Virtual Fighter
character was
4.
like a dude in like a gi, like a headband.
Yes,
He had
yes,
more of like
yes, yeah.
a French kind of style. Yeah. Yeah, Virtual Fighter was good.
That was a fun one. That was.
We were
yeah.
talking
Oh,
about.
dude, the only reason why I know this, I never played it, but I remember thinking that it looked like it was a ripoff of Tekken.
Bro, it kind of was.
That,
Let me
like-
see that. Let me see that picture.
now Virtual Fighter was like kind of clunky and like
Yeah, it looks very
in the
arcadish.
motions. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Yeah, that's a
Very-
good way to put
Very
it.
first gen
yeah,
Tekken.
That's Wolf right
yes,
there.
Yes, yeah.
That's Wolf right there. That was the
Yeah.
ninja dude. Yeah, this game is dope.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played it, but I remember
That was a PS2 one also.
That dude did
seeing-
Jeet Kune Do right there. Yeah. Big black
Yeah,
dude.
He was a beast,
Black
bro.
dude was big.
Big as shit,
Yeah.
bro. Big
But
as
now that we're
shit.
in video games and fighting, who's your character in Tekken?
My character.
I ain't played Tekken enough to really.
Boo.
I'm sorry. I deserve it. I was Dragon Ball Z.
It's a boo.
Oh,
No, it's good.
I
Budokai
can
Tenkaichi
give
is
you my
shit.
two mains. My two mains are damn, I wish you would have said-
Eddie.
But
Eddie's got to be in there for sure.
I use Steve
It
Fox.
is.
Eddie's not one of mine.
No way.
I just
What?
fuck around with Eddie.
What?
But I don't know if you guys know there's another character named Bruce. He first appeared in Tekken 2.
Oh yeah.
They actually replaced him with a new character named Bakumram. Yeah, I actually bought that character. You motherfuckers got me to buy him.
got you.
But he's a Muay Thai guy as well. But Bruce, his name is Bruce
I don't know if I
Irvin.
remember.
Yeah, look at Bruce.
Yeah, hold on.
Bruce
Look,
Irvin.
these guys. I never. Who was the old head with the two spiky like?
That's Heihachi.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's one of the main characters.
Oh, never mind. I know exactly who this is. Because he had a counterpart too, no?
No,
No?
he did it. He did it. I was thinking for a second. He didn't. But yeah, Bruce Irvin was dope.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah. He was dope.
He had like that
Second.
old style, like that old style Muay Thai where they kind of put a lot of weight on that back leg, kind of had their hands up high.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
That's insane.
as it evolved, because I think the last Tekken he might have been in was 5 or 6.
How many Tekkens are there?
Like,
There's
8 or 9
eight's
now?
about to come out.
Yeah.
Wow. Shit.
Eight's about to come out soon.
You were born. I'm sorry, man. I'm about to pull your age card a little bit. I was born. When did the first Tekken come out? Was that
90
90s?
something.
It had to be because I was a kid, man. I'll
Yeah.
tell you guys a little
Was that
story.
PS1? First one?
Yeah,
Yes,
PS1.
yes.
Yeah.
I used to go to the mall with my mom,
I got one.
and I know you guys probably don't remember. It was a place called, I think it was EB Games, and another place it was called KB Toys. This was before
I think I remember KB
any of that.
Toys.
You know, I got to see, like, from being a kid, I got to see things go from toys and transition into video
Electronics,
games.
basically.
Yeah. Like, I got
Like
to fucking
physical
see
toys
all
to
that shit.
virtual toys
Fucking
in a
yes.
way.
That's
That's kind of
crazy.
crazy.
So I was born
never
in
thought
a
about
pretty
that shit.
interesting, like, I was born in a pretty interesting period because I feel like motherfuckers my age, since we came up as kids, you know, in the old days,
Yeah.
we remember that, and we actually are just
Cartoons.
we're like part of, you know, the flow of the world, you know what I'm saying? So we've been able to kind of see everything evolve into this, you know, electronic
Machine.
information age kind of thing. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
We were monkeys before, and now we're robots.
It's
much,
quite
man.
literally, bro.
But yeah, we used to go to the mall, and this is when they used to entice you by having the game outside of the store.
Yeah, there was
Like, right
actual
outside of the store.
actual propaganda for video games.
Yeah, you could just sit there outside of the store. They have it right beside the store. Game would be
And
there.
you
And you
start
could just sit there
playing.
and play.
I know what you're talking about.
So, you know, if my mom was going somewhere I didn't want to go in the mall, I'd be
That's
like,
where you got dropped off.
I was either at the arcade, she would drop me off at the arcade, or she would drop me off at that place because it actually grew to where they would have like different games inside of the store, and you
it's
could just,
dope. You
you
can just
know,
hop. Kind of like
Yeah.
arcade.
yeah. And I was just,
Yeah.
so I'd be in there chilling, you know, games everywhere, looking at what I want, and came across Tekken, the very first Tekken, man. So that one really sticks with me because I sat there and just played it. Same character. They only had like fucking 2 characters
Yeah.
you could pick, but
Yeah, because it was like the demo.
Demo.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a demo. So that was like my first introduction to Tekken, and I've been fucking hooked ever since. So it's funny. I went from a little fucking kid to now, you know, I still have it, and I definitely plan on getting a new one.
That's
know
pretty
what I'm
dope. Shout out to
Yeah.
them for standing the
So-
test of time.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
They've evolved. They've evolved nicely, man. They have some cool videos showing kind of like the evolution of
Right.
Tekken, and I've always liked Tekken because it's always seemed more
Legit.
realistic with the movements.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I agree.
I like I like how you can chain combos. Like if you chain a combo, if you do a 1-2, he's gonna go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or a 1-2 kick.
Especially,
You know what I'm
especially
saying?
with Steve.
Yeah.
'Cause Steve is a boxer, so he
Mhm.
really puts into perspective like I would say perception, the like the low like high punch and low punch kind of vibe.
Oh yeah.
Where like if you start messing around with his combos the right way, he moves very much in a boxer like 1-2 upper, like like it's you start to see it with certain
and he can
characters.
Slip too.
Yeah, where
he has shit where he can slip and fucking
he slips fast
do
too.
counter shots and shit.
And he has no kick commands, I
Yes.
believe. I don't think he has any
kick.
kick commands.
So he's just straight.
His
throwing
kick
hands.
commands are the slips.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he's
His kick commands are fucking
Are
slipping
slips.
or fucking
Yep.
going under. He can actually, because with Tekken, once you start to dive into a character, dude, that fucking command list is endless. Bro.
almost eternal.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I started going down and kind of seeing some new moves I wanted to try out, man. And I found that he actually has different stances. A lot of characters in Tekken have different stances. You have to do a certain command, but they can switch into a stance. He actually can do the peekaboo style. The peekaboo style is what Mike Tyson did. So I like going into that when I'm playing as him because he throws everything, with more power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he's a very cool
He's a
character.
versatile character.
Very
for
versatile
sure.
character, even though he can only use his hands. Super versatile.
It's funny because he's one of my top characters precisely because of the fact that whenever I played with him, I felt like I was giving people the hands.
Yes.
Like, for real.
Because he's
Yeah.
And then he's actually doing this as he's punching. He's
Yeah, he exhales literally just like that.
You know what I'm saying?
So-
It's dope, man.
And the fact that other characters, I mean, like literally every single other character has kick commands that you have to adapt in your own fighting style to learn how, like, when someone's gonna kick in a way, like you can slip out of it.
Yeah.
And because like that comes in handy later on in the game when you start to really start playing with that character. And he has no kick commands, like I said. So it's like it's crazy that you're technically going in there with a disadvantage, but I got really good where I was giving people the hands, bro. And it's like really crazy to think like he only has punches. That's it.
And he can do dirty shit like fucking step on your toe and step on your foot and then hit you with a right hook. You know what I'm saying? So he'll do some dirty boxing stuff too, man.
Did you guys ever play Soul Calibur?
Yes.
Yeah,
bro.
I didn't.
Those my top two. Soul Calibur and Tekken. Those are like my top.
Who's your character? Who's your go-to in Soul Calibur?
My go-to is Mitsuru, the samurai.
Okay, I know you're talking about. He has the flame fence and all of that shit. He's a beast.
Has like that one side armor.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
He has several costumes. He has one where he's a gi.
Yeah.
And then he has the armor one. Yeah. I think my go-to character, I could be 3. Homeboy with the nunchucks.
Yeah. Maxi.
Mm-hmm. And then my man, I think it's Killian, my homie with the staff. Keelik, bro.
Yeah, them motherfuckers. Have you played Soul Calibur?
Yo,
no, not like that, bro.
I was a beast for him.
No,
bro.
not at all.
And then there was one dude. He had the yellow and blue kind of like vest on with the sword that like,
because I'm
it was
pretty
kind of like a saber, like it kind of like curved, and he had like the faux hawk. Bro, he was a beast. But Valdo was that dude.
Valdo, that motherfucker.
Was that dude, bro. Man, just sitting there like,
you gotta see this, man. I wish we could show this to you.
I'm pretty sure it's like Edward Scissorhands, bro. He just walks like this and dices your ass.
So
his weapons are literally
Blade hands.
just blade hands.
And he's a zombie.
He's like a
boneless.
what they call a contortionist.
yeah,
So he'll do like go back and do all types of crazy. Just a weird ass
he's
character.
A beast.
He looks like like an
some
exhibitionist.
kind of like fucking Silent Hill.
Yes, quite literally, bro. Yeah. Actually, yo.
Yeah, I think Soul Calibur when it first came out, I think it had beef with PlayStation.
Yeah, it came out for GameCube. I'm pretty sure.
it wasn't for PlayStation for a little bit, and then they like integrated it. I'm not sure, but
It's
I don't
a Nintendo
remember.
game.
I don't remember being able to play that on PlayStation because I've been a PlayStation kid for a minute.
No, it was a Nintendo game,
and it was until later that it was like cross-platform or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
I think I've only had it on Xbox.
Really?
Yeah,
I played
see,
it only to. Okay.
I'm positive. I'm like 90% sure that it was one of those things that PlayStation didn't have access to until later on, like Xbox 360 type of
I
shit.
think it was
I had it
like
on
an
GameCube.
exclusive
Yeah,
to
I think
Xbox for a time.
I'm pretty sure because I never really got exposure to it. I remember playing it, but it was always at people's houses.
Yeah, I had it
and I
for
can't even
GameCube.
remember playing it enough to get like good with the character. And the one time I remember playing specifically was whatever year they released
with Darth
whatever
Vader.
Yep, that's exactly the one I played.
Yeah,
I think that was the newest. That's the most recent one they've released, and the newest one.
I remember playing that.
That was a little while.
And I played with Darth Vader too.
They put Darth Vader and Yoda in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That one. Whatever that one was.
That might have been the
5,
fourth
3,
one. That might have been the fourth
I don't even
one.
know. That was the last one I ever played.
The last one,
recently.
I played Soul Calibur 2. That was the one.
I mean, the last one they had The Witcher.
Oh shit!
Well,
They're
the
up to
newest
7.
They had,
Oh,
they had
wow.
The Witcher.
They had Gerald.
Mhm.
Oh shit!
So you can play as him. You can do his fucking spells and
Is that
everything.
show that good? Or the game? What is it?
I'm
It's
gonna be honest with you.
It's-
I haven't played the game at all, but the TV show made me want to pick up the game because they have like 3 or 4 of them. So I was like, damn, this gotta be good. And I went into watching the TV show strictly off being kind of a Henry Cavill fanboy. So
Mhm.
because I liked him in Superman, and I've liked him in a couple other things. I was like, I don't know, I'll check it out. And everyone after that one like super viral Instagram page, like they fan arted Henry Cavill as The Witcher, and the internet went crazy. That's how he got that role. Like I can't remember. I think his name is Boss Logic on Instagram, but he would do a lot of like fan art shit. And he released a fan art with Henry Cavill as Witcher, and that's like when I can pinpoint that the internet lost their shit and was like, yeah, we need to do this. And then 2-3 years later, whatever amount of time went by, boom, Henry Cavill's the fucking Witcher. So I ended up watching it because of being a fan of the dude from Instagram. That I was like, oh, that's pretty dope, and like that's like that would be actually a really like accurate looking depiction of Geralt. And then fucking years later, Henry Cavill ends up being it because he fucking did the fan art. But I thought that was super dope, and that's why I ended up watching The Witcher. And the TV show is dope enough that I was like, I might pick up the fucking video game and see what's up about it.
You only really need to play the Wild Hunt, the last one.
Yeah.
The second one, I played the second one. The second one's good, but it's more linear. It's less open world.
Oh, okay.
Wild Hunt is completely open world.
I'm more of an open world
so you
kind
can
of guy
explore.
for sure.
You can go into fucking the swamps and find motherfuckers there, and so the Wild Hunt, that's the one to play. I never played the first one. I think the first one may have come out on PC. I think it might have started out on PC actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Because I remember that was also a Xbox exclusive for a while. Because it was like
Yes,
it was a Microsoft thing that like whenever the fucking gaming people had beef, they wouldn't release it for the other consoles, and now everyone's just like, it's okay, we'll just be whores. But before that whole rivalry was a thing where they were like, nah, man, you can't play this. It's for Xbox only, man. So
get off that.
That's how those people with Spider-Man do, like that and God of War. Like God of War is one of my like all-time favorites.
All time for me.
Love the game.
All time for me.
Love that game. But I'm so pissed that Microsoft does not buckle down and be like, all right, let's just get this for some of our guys too. Like,
but I think
everybody's like, go ahead.
They released it on PC, no? The last one, I don't know.
Yeah, it's on PC.
Yeah, because I see
it's
it on
PC.
Steam.
Yeah, I figured.
But I'm just like, I'm like, come on now. Some of us console players, like, we still want God of War from when we were little, still. And then,
what was your favorite God of War?
I've not got to play a lot of them at all, so I've only got to see gameplay in the. Yeah, I've only got to see gameplay of it, and that's it.
If you can find
that's the
a remastered version, like play it from the beginning, like from the first one, bro.
Makes me want to gift you one of my PS3s that I just have in storage.
Because it's different. Like the new one,
and be like, just go at it, dog. Just buy all the fucking old school games.
They changed up the view of the new one. Like the new one is more like an over the shoulder kind of view, but the old God of War was more like wide
third person.
Yeah,
like an FPV almost.
Like you would get surrounded by enemies and shit like that, you know. So,
yeah, you're right.
Because I'd literally like lay in bed and be on my phone like this, just watching God of War like gameplay, and watching him and Zeus, watching him and Hercules, him and Hades.
The Hercules fight was bananas.
Yeah, and you got those fucking gauntlets.
You get the gauntlets.
Yeah. And then
the Poseidon match was cool too.
What
that was it? Yeah,
that was
the newer one.
Yeah,
the one where he has his son.
That's the Viking one.
I've only seen gameplay of that.
That's good.
Probably maybe the first God of War and the second God of War were like the last ones that I've played.
Wait, which one was one of the last ones you played? Sorry.
maybe the first and the second one, like when I had a PlayStation 2.
Okay, yeah. Those are those are one of my favorites though, because I
Mhm.
have like a love-hate relationship with how they switched it up when
Yeah.
his son came into play. Because before, when it was only focused on Kratos, the gameplay was very
Mhm.
much different. And then when they put his son into play, they changed it into a very much like The Last of Us kind of gameplay, and
Yeah.
that bothered me a little bit. Where I was like, man,
Yeah.
I see like what you guys did because you guys had to get with the times, I guess. But at the same time, like what made God of War so fucking God of War was the style of gameplay and like
Mhm.
the way it flowed. Because if the flow, I would say, significantly changed when they switched over to the other gameplay type. Still very good.
Yes.
And honestly, I was amazed that the people responded so well too. Because sometimes people don't like change in general. So when they switched up, like
I didn't want to accept it. I didn't when it first came out and I saw that. I was like,
Me too.
like coming from the very first
Yeah,
game,
like,
I was
what
like,
is
I don't
this?
want to play this shit.
This isn't my God of War.
Really?
Exactly.
This
Yeah.
isn't
You guys
my
don't like
God.
the Viking twist?
No,
No, it wasn't
I-
that. It was it just looked totally different. It was
Yeah.
it was a whole different approach,
100%.
Whole different
It's like
approach.
you like milk, but then like I don't know if you like ice cream, and then you watch milk be fucking turned into ice
That's
cream.
fair.
You're like, what the hell is that? And then you try and you're like, all right, my bad, you were right, it's good. And that's exactly how I felt about God of War, where I was like, nah, man, it's not the same, bro. I don't even know if I'm gonna play it. And then everyone went crazy about it. Then I was like, all right, let's try it out. Fucking probably one of my fucking all-time favorite video games from now on. Like to the point that I'm like, dude, I'm probably gonna be hooked on PlayStation for almost the longevity of my life based off that game alone.
Yeah.
Another one that's kind of getting into that spot is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I'm playing that right now.
Fire ass game.
I'm playing that right now.
The whole storyline kept me hooked. I think it was really innovative the way they like went into the post-apocalyptical, like the electronics, like Skynet shit. Like the electronics turned against us, and basically what ends up happening is all technology is erased and like all memory of it is erased in a way, and it's based in like times thousands of years past our contemporary time right now. And so everyone's like, all these machines and shit, like we don't know, because they all went back to like primitive living, because it's like basically we went back to the Stone Age. But it's crazy to see that even in that Stone Age, there's like these huge electronic Skynet androids running around Earth, and nobody knows shit about them. They're just basically like, oh, everything's just there. And the story kind of like reflects on like how you find out why they're there, why they're being produced, who produced them, blah 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 blah. But it's like super crazy. I really like that storyline a lot, dude. There's a twist behind it. There's like kind of like life lessons behind the game. I really because she's an outcast, so like it kind of goes to show that the outcast ends up like saving the world per se, and it's dope as fuck. I don't know. I was pretty sold on that whole storyline, and I'm playing the second one right now.
Have you been liking the second one? Because I don't know how far along I am. Because I'm where she's discovered Zero Dawn and all that.
Yeah, okay.
Is that like, am I midway or
what's your suit look like?
Quarter of the way. I'm wearing like the Banuk people? You remember those people?
I think you're like halfway.
Okay.
A little over halfway.
A little over halfway?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure where I was, because I've been playing it on and off. I know I've calculated a lot of hours, but in like small pockets of time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
that's a kind of a long game too, where there's like a lot of finding shit to put the puzzle together a little bit better. Because I mean, you're playing it, so you know that there's like little voice messages and like little notes that are left behind.
And shit.
Yeah, and like that paints a bigger picture of exactly what's going on in the storyline, because it's very mysterious. And like as a human being, you know what I fucked with as a human being? It triggered like, but like why? Like what's going on? Like what's going on in this world? Like everyone's living around with spears and fucking arrows and shit, but there's these massive dinosaur-looking ass android beasts roaming the world. Like how is that even possible? And especially since they specifically talk about how like they went back into the Stone Age, and like electronics are a way of the past, even though they're more technologically forward. So I was like, as a human being, I was like, what the fuck? This don't make no sense. And then you start playing it, and those little notes, those little voice recordings and little clues that you'll find because they call us the old ones. I think in that
Yeah, I think so.
they refer to as like to us as like our contemporary time. They're like, oh, the old ones. This is what happened with when the old ones roamed the earth, and like we are the old ones because we perished. Like there's a new way of living now, and it's crazy, dude. It's crazy, and it's all kind of like AI based too.
Oh yeah, sure.
So it's like crazy to watch that story unfold because it could easily happen. Like, that's another thing that I was like, damn, this could we could get to that point where we're making these fucking technologically advanced androids that just fucking turn on it. I'm telling you, like straight Skynet shit, basically.
Man, they already got that shit.
Yeah,
Facts. Factual. All right. So now should we hop back into
Well, gentlemen, that was fucking.
Yeah.
that was a
great.
cool video game
that was crazy.
wormhole.
Okay.
Rabbit hole.
No, let me think of some good shit to ask everybody.
You still gotta give your top 5, sir. So this
I'll
horror
hop in the movie thing while he's looking over his notes. Yo, so for me, I think it would be Wolf of Wall Street.
Oof.
It would be
You just
the Dark
Steve.
Knight trilogy.
Damn.
It would be Fight Club, American Psycho.
Oh, your 5th spot could share 2 movies.
Could be what?
2 movies. Like your 5th spot could be like half and half. Like half this one, half that one to make one. It's essentially 5, 6 movies, but you know. You sneaking in one.
Oh, so you get a bonus one?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, damn, this last one would be probably between Tarzan or Hercules. The
Tarzan
Disney movie, and that's strictly coming from like an emotional
Oh,
place.
Hercules.
That's super. Like,
funny you
super
say that, bro,
special
'cause
in my heart, you know.
Tarzan was gonna be one of mine earlier. I was like,
Yeah,
but I had to really think. I was like,
strictly off like childhood memories and shit.
if you were to ask you this 10 years ago, I would have probably said Tarzan.
That's why, like, after we had that conversation, I like that last time I was here. I like went home thinking about it. And I was like, damn, I kind of like. I'm talking about a lot of like newer movies, and I think it's because it's like what's in my mind most recently. So I started to dabble in more, and I was like, dude, Tarzan and Hercules as a kid were my go-to movie. You know, like how like. I mean, I'm sure some of you have experienced it that you go over to like your homie's house or like your nephews and nieces. They always have like that one movie they're obsessed with. And you go over, and every time they want to watch Frozen or fucking whatever it might be, right? Toy Story, whatever. For me, it was definitely either Hercules or Tarzan. And so that's why I was like, Tarzan's got to be included.
Sandlot's another one for me, dude.
Ooh, and then that was going to be my 6th. And that's strictly because that's also like like me and my mom used to watch that. And then in my older years, when I started to go and visit mom, like every, like, you know, once or twice a year, we would make time to like sit down and have like a movie night, and we would end up watching one of those 3 movies, let it be Tarzan, Hercules, or Sandlot. And that was because those were movies that we enjoyed like as a family together growing up frequently.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with those.
Yeah, so
Hercules, I didn't really watch too much of it.
And if it's not Sandlot, my bonus would probably be Shawshank Redemption, and that specifically because it teaches you that like prison is a mindset. Like that's what I took away from Shawshank because I watched it when I was younger, and like a lot of the movies that I watched as I was a kid, and even like a younger teenager, I didn't really fully understand like the psychology behind it and like maybe like the deeper meaning of film. And now that I'm a little older and a little wiser, I watch things and I'm like, I take away different things. And one of the things I took away from Shawshank Redemption was that like prison's a mindset,
for sure,
you know, and that if you have a goal in mind, you can achieve it.
For sure.
That's kind of like what I like when I watch that. I'm like, anything is possible, bro. Like,
that's a
if
movie.
You really want it, go out and fucking chase it.
Facts. That's a movie I really gotta. I tried to watch it the other day. I fell asleep, but it's a really good movie. No, it's a good movie. I just actually really want to sit down and give it the time of day. Though
it's built in that weird like old '90s film style where they like it's super slow. You know, like it's like if you're not in the
it's actual substance though. You know what I mean? Like it was actual story.
Yeah,
there was actual like the monologues back then, bro, were fucking real, bro.
Like too. The monologues are also kind of like in a slower tempo.
For sure, it's just a drag. It's a build up movie.
Yeah, and if you don't go in it with like the mentality of like fully paying attention, like you'll easily drag into like
The Godfather's kind of the same way, bro.
Yeah,
The
I agree.
Godfather's the same way.
I agree.
It wasn't actually until recently that I actually sat down and fully understood that movie. Like, I'm not even joking, bro. Like, the last 2 times I watched it, one being last week. Like,
I still haven't watched it.
where I sat down and I fully understood, like, everything. I was like, this movie's fucking fantastic. Like,
I will agree. I'll agree 100% because I think that's where a lot of the things came into so movies I watched, like what put into perception was movies I watched as a kid that I was like, I don't understand why people like this so much. You know, like that was kind of the mindset that I was in. And then as I grew older and I started running out of movies that I like wanted to watch in my spare time, I started Googling like what are the
classics.
best 100 movies, you know, by like ratings or whatever, ravings, whatever you want to call it, right?
I've never done that. That's a good.
And I started looking up like the best 50 movies to watch, best 100 movies to watch, and I started going down that list. And a lot of those movies I had already watched. So then, like, I started watching how this process how it started was I started to watch the movies I hadn't watched that were in that list, and I was like, oh, these are pretty good. Yeah. And then the movies I already had watched, I started rewatching them when I started running out of the new ones.
Yeah.
And then that's when, like, in my adult life, I started to be like, holy shit, like, I get it.
I feel that.
I get it now. I understand why these movies are cult classics. I understand now why people, when they talk about The Godfather, when they talk about Goodfellas, when they talk about all these movies that are cult classics that I didn't fully understand as a youngin', like now as an adult, I'm like, oh shit, I get it.
Yeah,
I get
quite
it now.
literally.
I get it. This is why it's good. And it usually has to do with whatever life lesson that was in the time that I watched it, in the mindset I watched it, was going over my head. And now that I'm a little wiser and a little older, I'm like,
you experience more stuff.
I feel like you open your third eye.
For sure.
That, like, I feel like that's really what it is. It's like you kind of like start letting go of ego and shit, and then that allows you to see a little bit more profound thing.
I think that's one of the most beautiful things about growing older is like you don't really realize how much you've grown mentally until you sit back and have like these type of conversations where you're like, oh shit, like to the point where a movie, like understanding a movie and the time frame and mindset that you were in as a kid to like now it's like as a kid you could watch it the same way you watch it now, but your brain didn't even know how to register.
Right. I
a lot of shit, whether you know what I mean, like so it's like now growing and seeing things and you know just experiencing life, you look at shit and you're like, okay,
I get it. Like, I go through that with movies and music a lot.
For sure, music for sure.
Music sometimes there's songs that like
lyrics go right over your shit.
It's not just lyrics; it's like time and place. Where there's certain songs that I'm like, I really don't know why I fuck with this song. And then I started to really think about it. I'm like, damn, at one point, I really fucked with this song. And, like, this was going on in my life. Like, this is where I was at. And I had that song on repeat because, like, it, like, spoke to me one way, shape, or another. But, like, that happens to me a lot with, like, music and film. Where I'm like, what?
You know, they say,
oh, I get it.
You know, they say music and movies and maybe and smells are, like three things that trigger, like, a memory. Like, it's like movies and music and food essentially, but definitely movies and music. You could almost remember almost every time.
Food's a big one, dude.
Yeah, you could almost remember every time when you probably seen something for the first time or like where life was at. Like for me, certain music and movies brings me back to a time capsule of where life was, like where I was at in life at that time.
Where I was, what I was thinking
about, what life actually was. Yeah, like
what I appreciate
now, and it's like it's so crazy. Like I'll get like a perspective I'll put down. Like Kanye's Late Registration album, Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor EP? The one with Kick Push on it and
two Food.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's the first Food and Liquor. It's the one with the black, but like you know the Egyptian kind of looking like hieroglyphics on it and shit. But like that, like MIA, so like Paper Planes,
Planes,
that era for me, like that mid 2000, like 06, 07 era right there. Like for me, when I hear those songs, it brings me right back to there, and I think about like skateboarding and like just like certain things, like how you listen to punk rock music. Like I don't know, for me personally, like if the minute I hear Blink-182, automatically I think of the late 90s and I think of American Pie. I wasn't even born then, but
I kind of agree.
That's just like such the time capsule of what
that's how powerful music is, though.
That sound caps that whole like era. You know what I mean? Like it's just crazy how movies and music could do that. Like, I don't,
When they put like when directors and production like put those two together, that's where like
you get a beautiful
there's
movie.
something in my fucking head that like is like
Agreed.
because it just takes you there, and that's something that like lately in production I've noticed that like FX or like fucking Netflix, they do a really 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 good job at this is the time I'm trying to portray, and they fucking portray it. Where
Yeah.
like I've watched it with like my girl, and I've like looked at it, and I'm like, where the fuck did they even find that many cars from the fucking 50s to make
facts.
this scene possible?
Not,
Like there's just like little things like that like I'm like, where the fuck did they get all like, or like even it comes to like even propaganda or like the way things were made. What I mean by that is like they'll have like the 80s Pepsi logo on the Pepsi they're drinking.
Yeah.
Like the 80s
detail,
Mountain
man.
Dew, like details
The detail.
like that I think people have noticed that the human being has become anal in the aspects of like like they pointed shit out in different movies that don't make sense in that timeline.
Yeah.
That now throughout the years, production companies or movies have gotten better at like, no, we can't slip up like that.
Nah, you
Yeah.
Like
can't.
we have to make them feel like, and we cannot incorporate anything that would be out of that
touch.
time,
Agreed.
or else we don't look valid as like
a
as
production
a film.
company. Yeah,
or as,
dude.
like
Yeah.
as a film in total. They're like, that's whack, bro. That doesn't even make sense. That shouldn't be in that timeline.
I mean, it makes sense though, because one little thing like that could throw some shit off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like that's how humans are. Like that one little detail, you'd be like, shitty movie. I can't believe
you want
they put
to
that
immerse
into it.
people in that. Like you want them to feel like they're in that time.
Yeah.
If that thing pops up, that's just gonna totally take them out of the whole thing.
Like I was watching Snowfall
Mm.
for like a little bit in the last couple of months. Like every night I would come home and watch like an episode or two. And like they did a really good job too.
I'm so happy you brought that up.
At fucking putting you in that like early 80s, even up to early 90s vibe, like with aesthetics too though. Like, like I'm talking about cars, wardrobe, slang, like everything was
the style,
like
everything,
bro. I really enjoyed watching Snowfall just off of that one thing alone.
bro.
Off of like me being able to be like, holy shit, bro, they're really making you feel like you're in that timeline, and like this, like the problems that they're facing are from that timeline. It's honestly crazy, because if you know about what's going on in Snowfall, they talk about I don't know like the accurate names and shit, but I know this was like
It's about Freeway Rick Ross.
Yeah, but it was like the fact that the CIA was fucking
And putting that shit's in
distributing
the hood.
coke to fuck yeah,
bro.
and then they were helping the Contras and all that shit.
All
'Cause
that shit.
At that time, it was shit that like people, you like brought it up and people were like, "You're crazy, bro. The CIA is not doing that." And now people are aware that like the CIA was doing some sketchy shit like
Fuck
that.
up their own people, son.
And like it's just like they show even mentalities of how in that time how they talk about shit. They're like, the CIA wouldn't do that because it's fucking crazy to think about, and like that's why the CIA did that shit. Probably they're like, they'll never fucking suspect it was us.
Exactly. They'll never believe
And then
it
they
was
got
us.
caught red-handed, and now it is what it is. But I do like it just shows that mentality of how people in that time they were like, there's no way.
The
CIA isn't
the
involved with
naiveness,
this.
right?
Like,
the
what
naive.
the fuck are you talking about? And then sure as shit, a CIA agent shows up and he's like, do you want these 100 keys or what's up? And people are like, what the fuck? You're a Fed? And they're like, yeah, you want it or not? Like, it's like, it's crazy, bro. But like, even within that like little culture, I can see why people were thrown off by some fucking federal agent trying to sell you fucking
For
narcotics.
sure.
It's just crazy to think about, especially even in that time.
Definitely.
I guess I need to get back on that.
I need to watch that show again too. But it's funny you brought that up because I did a deep dive into John Singleton. Rest in peace, John Singleton. But he was the director / producer of that show.
Yeah.
He also did Boys in the Hood.
That makes
he
sense.
Did you ever the last episode on Snowfall? They do a homage to like Boys in the Hood. Like if when Stanley and his homeboy is walking, and he's like a crackhead at that point, he's like y'all never won an Oscar for that fucking movie. And they like if you pay attention, like you see Little Doughboy with the striped shirt, you see Ricky with the jersey on. Like I just saw a video of this the other day because I actually never watched the last episode, so I saw it and I was like, that's cool. But I did a deep dive into John Singleton, man. That dude was the illest. So like he did Boys in the Hood, he did Too Fast Too Furious, he did Poetic Justice, he did Higher Learning, which if y'all haven't seen Higher Learning, magnificent
Plenty of
movie,
times. You
bro.
ever seen that?
I don't think so.
Higher Learning is good. Who's that with? Omar Epps.
Omar Epps, Michael Rappaport,
Tyra Banks.
Vanessa Williams. Is it? No, it's Tyra Banks.
Yeah,
You're
it's
right.
Tyra Banks.
Homeboy.
Nah, I never
Lawrence
seen
Fishburne is in it.
Yes.
That's a really good
Oh,
movie.
Ice Cube's in it.
Ice Cube
Ice
is
Cube
too.
isn't it?
You know, it's crazy. You know, Tupac was supposed to play that role,
Oh, really?
but he had got caught up. That was when he got caught up on the rape charge thing, and they dropped him.
I feel
He
like
would've
I've
killed
seen
that shit.
Yeah. So that
clips of this movie
you
before,
know
though.
that John Singleton, dude, when he did Boys in the Hood, one, he was 23 years old. Two,
Damn.
that movie is essentially about his life. And three, he was the first and only and the youngest actor, definitely first black director. He was the first and only director to ever get nominated for an Oscar at 23 years old for that movie for best director.
Bro, he was a big inspiration that made me want to direct.
Bro,
and
me
made
too.
Me want, made
Oh,
me
shit.
Want to even get involved in
Me
movies.
He
too.
did.
To
He
this
did
day.
Four Brothers
we
too.
gotta talk about that.
him and Fuqua.
I don't know who Fuqua
Antoine
is.
Fuqua. Never heard of
Nah,
Antoine
put me
Fuqua?
on though. But him and Spike Lee for sure. And
Damn,
him,
he did
Spike
Hustle and
Lee-
Flow too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, him, Spike Lee. I would say Martin
Yeah, Spike
Scorsese
Lee.
and Steven Spielberg for me. My like four.
Directors.
Yeah, those
No-
are the four
no
directors that
Nolan?
I'm looking.
Damn.
Nolan, yeah, but his movie style is like not really like my like. It is my forte. Like he's an amazing director, but like I don't know, Scorsese, man, he's made some great movies. Another movie, man, that I thought that I kind of missed from mine was have you guys seen Gangs of New York?
Fuck, that's
Yeah.
one of my all
Are
time.
you kidding me? Hell yeah, bro. That's definitely in my top, probably like 10.
Easy.
Yeah, bro. Because of the whole vibe. It's a fucking tough movie to sit through because it's 3 hours long.
It's long.
And like I have a problem. I mean, I'm fucking ADHD as fuck, so me sitting down for that long is pretty challenging in general.
I had the DVD.
But that's
It was a
one of the
2-part DVD.
fucking movies that like it captures you, bro. Like,
That's my
once you
favorite
really
Leonardo
start
DiCaprio
watching,
movie.
It captures you, and it's
Easily.
really, really good. What's the name of the butcher guy?
William Cutter. No, you talking about his real name?
Daniel Day-Lewis? Is that
Yeah,
dude?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
What a fucking great actor,
He
dog.
bodied that.
Like I think that's one of the first films I've watched from him that I really truly started to appreciate him as an actor.
Mhm.
And then that oil movie, I forget what
I
it's
just
called.
watched that the other day.
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be
I just seen that. I never seen that one.
He really sells it, bro. He does a really good job, man. And like I don't know how to explain it, but his energy is unmatched. Like him as an actor, I really appreciate him. It's crazy, dude.
Gangs of New York was amazing, dude. Like I watched that movie for the first time at like 7 years old, bro. Like, and that was one of those ones that like I loved that movie as a kid, but I appreciated it way more as I got older.
Oh yeah.
Especially the one. It's a real like that shit is real.
It's real as
stuff.
fuck.
Like
yeah.
remember Hellcat Maggie, the one who like the chick with the claws who was ripping niggas' ears off.
Yeah.
That was a real person, bro. Like that was real. Like that's based off of a real chick, like who was doing shit like that. And that I don't know that movie to me, man. Like
that's another good movie that sets you in that time,
bro. What?
Yeah.
Does
Oh,
a really
dude,
good
like,
job.
That one to me too, bro. Like it mind boggles me that is New York City, bro.
Yeah.
Especially me, like growing up there, I'm like, this shit, like
Yeah.
this type of shit happened here, bro. Like in Manhattan, like you go to Manhattan now and you see where that movie potentially took place at, and you're like,
What the fuck?
what the fuck? Like quite literally, bro. That movie, if you really want my honest opinion, the fact that Leo didn't win an Oscar or they didn't get an Oscar nomination for that movie blows my mind, dude. The fact that Leo got snubbed mad times, but like the fact that he didn't get one for that or Wolf of Wall Street threw me for a fucking loop, bro.
Honestly,
Did
for
he get
me,
one for The Departed?
For me, it's
no,
Gilbert
and
Grape,
that's
bro.
another one, bro.
Where he acts like he's mentally handicapped with Gilbert Grape, right?
I haven't seen that
He
one. I actually want to watch that
I've never
too.
seen that
He
either.
sells that really well, and he was really, really young, bro.
That was like one of his
He was,
first
like,
ones, right?
Mad young.
I think
bro.
that might
And
have been
I've
his first
watched
one.
him, and, I'm like, damn, bro, this kid was like he
Destined.
knew what was up from like the beginning of times, basically. You know, like because you watch that, he's like, I want to say somewhere in his teens, like 12 to
Yeah,
16.
he's
I
super
don't
young.
know, like I
Super
couldn't quote
young.
it like that, but he's young.
Nah, he's
And
super
he does a
young.
really good job, bro. He does a really, really good job.
I never watched that. Is it Johnny Depp's in that too, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
There's another one when Leo's super young called Quick and the Dead.
I haven't seen that
You ever
either.
seen that?
No.
No.
It's a western. It's real good.
Have you guys seen Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that one.
He's
The
like
pilot,
he's
right? The
well he's
pilot
a
and pilot.
he's a con
Yeah.
artist. That's a really good one. The Revenant, I actually just watched the other day with my girl. That
I own it.
I haven't
That
seen
movie's-
that in a while.
It's fucking fire.
That movie's nuts.
Yeah.
That movie is nuts. So he won an Oscar for that.
You know, something I was gonna touch up with the Gangs of New York. That's a movie that like makes you feel the beef too.
Mhm.
Which like I've come to realize too as I grow older, I really start to enjoy the movies that make me feel some sort of way.
Sure.
Where like I'll start watching it and then like all of a sudden like I'm like, oh shit, I'm on someone's side.
Yeah.
Like you know, like and sometimes it's not as obvious as like, you know, like a superhero movie where you're obviously, you know, rooting for the superheroes and you want them to like save the world. But there's other times where like you're rooting for the anti-hero.
That's
Very much, you know, like you're like, oh shit, like I'm with this. Like you're on his side, you know,
Yeah.
like he's going through his story or whatever the fuck. Like, you know, sometimes it's revenge, sometimes it's fucking love, like, you know, but there's always like a story involved where like you start to feel and you're like, I'm with it, man. I'm like, I'm here for this revenge. I'm here for this fucking storyline that you guys have built. Like, okay, so I was watching the build. I think Vice released it. I don't know how long ago, but they were breaking down Quentin Tarantino movies.
Oh, dude, he's a
I always like to
mastermind.
watch like film, like stuff where people talk about film and break shit down because
Agreed.
it helps me understand more profound too. And like just like shit like you're bringing up. Did you know this? Like no. So now when I go into watching that movie again, I'm gonna be like, what was he talking about? And then I'll see it and I'm like, oh shit, you know. One of the things they were talking about is Django. And how he really wanted to set in place a black superhero that was saving a princess. And I fucking never in my life put it that way. But Django happens to be one of my fucking favorite movies as well.
It's a really great
which
movie.
also
I fucks
probably
with it.
falls under top 10. I own it and I've watched it probably over 100 times.
That's a really good one. That's one of those
And-
ones where it's 3 hours and doesn't feel like it.
And
Oh,
I
no,
think
not at all.
I'm obsessed with like, or not obsessed, but like the really thing that like turned me on from Django is the whole story of like the dude that wasn't expected to be a hero becomes a hero and saves like, you know, his queen.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like one of like the acts of chivalry that we see repeated throughout different types of stories and different types of scenarios.
There you go.
That like as a man, you know, you see it lather, rinse, repeat in different movies and even novels per se.
Yeah.
That like you got to go out there and like save your girl. You know, and it might be like a toxic masculinity thing, or I don't even know what to label it under. But like, when they were saying that, I realized in that moment that's why I like Django. Because it's like it's an underdog story of that you start watching and you're like, I don't know, is he gonna be able to save his girl or not? And like so many odds are against him
Yeah.
because you know it's
True,
in the
bro.
time where slavery is going on. He's a fucking black ex-slave that now he's free. He's trying to get his girl back and like all this shit. And so it's basically set up in a way where you're like, no fucking way he's gonna get like what he's looking for. But even after some crazy, gruesome shit happens, he ends up fucking getting the girl and like riding off into the sunset.
Yeah.
And like that's in a way like what we're all looking for. You know, we're just trying to fucking ride into the sunset. Fucking
Even if we got to shoot our way out there.
yeah,
Bitch.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was watching that breakdown and I was like, damn, I feel like that's why I like Django. Because it's just a good movie in general, but I could never really pinpoint like what was like my obsession with it. Because it's one of those movies that like if I'm bored, I'll just put it on.
Yeah.
Or if I'm gonna clean, I'll put it on and listen to it in the background because I know the dialogue so well that I can hear it and I'm like, oh, they're in this scene. Like I can picture it exactly in my head from how many times I watched that movie.
That's a really good one. He did. That's one of his. I think that's one of his best films.
I agree, bro.
He's got a solid work on his hand. Like
the way Tarantino builds stories is one of my favorites, bro.
I also like how he does it backwards.
Because there's no timeline.
There's no timeline.
Yeah, there's like no like
lineage. It's like it's
what's
just
the word? Like chronological order.
It's just
like there's an order to it, but it's like weird. Like the way the story is told out, they're giving you pieces of the end at the beginning, pieces of the beginning in the middle, and then like
those are my favorite kind of
paints
movies.
a full fucking picture by the end of it, and you're like, oh shit. And then sometimes even he'll do a good job where like the way he does it all builds up to one moment.
Yeah.
And that's like where you're like, oh shit, that's what he was building up to? Like, that's crazy. I think Nolan does a good job at it too, kind of building up his own concept of doing something like that, very similar. And then the Fight Club guy, I forget his name.
Hold on, no, I got that one. Let me think that one real quick. I remember this.
The
Fight
director?
Club.
Yeah, the director.
That's not M. Night Shyamalan, is it?
Hell no. He ain't never did nothing good.
Hereditary was nuts, but
I never watched it.
Fight Club.
People went
Who is
crazy,
Fight
though.
Club? That's
I forget his name, but he did Gone Girl. He did Seven.
dude,
He did a couple.
No idea.
I know who you're talking about. And I can't think of his name.
My internet don't want to work. But yeah, that guy, David Fincher.
It wasn't gonna get.
He
that.
did Zodiac
Not at
too. He did Zodiac. He did fucking,
Zodiac was an interesting movie.
He did Seven, Fight Club, Gone Girl, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Social Network,
Oh,
Benjamin
wow.
Button, The Panic Room. Like, this boy got some like fire fucking movies that I've seen in the past. You know, Lords of Dogtown.
That's my shit.
I like
yo.
the way
That's my fucking
the way David
movie,
Fincher
dude.
makes like storylines as well, and how he does it. Like, I really enjoy his work as well. Especially Gone Girl. If you've ever seen Gone Girl, that
It's
was
a
one of the
really good
movies that I
one.
was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, that movie's nuts. That
This
movie's
is
nuts.
crazy.
Haven't seen that one either.
You haven't seen
Well,
Gone Girl?
Haven't seen.
I gotta
Lords of
rewatch that.
Dogtown either.
Highly recommend those two
So,
movies.
Lords of Dogtown is based on real shit. That's based on like the OGs of skateboarding.
I remember when
Like,
it came out.
Yeah.
It's about Tony Alvarez, Stacy Peralta, Jay. Was it Jay Alvarez? No, what was his last name? Jay something. But yeah, Tony Alvarez, Stacy Peralta. Like, that's like that Rodney Mullins like era right there. Like, where it's like the beginning of skateboarding essentially, dude. That movie is so ill to me. Like, that's another one of those movies that when I watch it, I get brought all the way back to 9 years old. Like, automatically.
Yeah.
Like, automatically, me and my best friend learning how to skateboard, fully indulging in that culture, and like
And,
it
and
was
the story there is, I can't remember exactly what happens in Cali. That something with surfing happens.
so they were surfers and skateboarders.
But they were surfers first.
Yes.
And then they started
Skateboarding.
skateboarding
And became
because they were skateboarding in people's backyards and their pools.
That's when pool skateboarding became a thing.
And then something happened. I think there was a drought or something where like there was an excessive amount of
And they were
pools
draining pools right?
everywhere that was drained. So these little dudes like that were, I think, in like middle or school.
They were
or
high school. They were high school.
They were like going in people's backyards and just shredding it up in their fucking drained out pools.
And just taking pictures and like pretty much creating like
The whole subculture,
the whole culture
of
of
fucking
like, skateboarding, bro. Like,
and it was all
thrashers
based
and
off
shit like
fucking
that, yeah.
surfboarding. Like, they were all surfboarders that turned into skateboarders and then made it like mainstream, basically.
Yeah.
From my understanding.
That movie's fucking amazing. That movie's great.
Really good. I like.
That's another one that like encapsulates like the 70s.
I also
really
feel like
well.
it's very much a coming of age movie.
I think so. I would say
Like
so.
The Lords of Dogtown.
For
Like when you
sure.
watch it, and if you're a little younger, you'll probably view it in a different light. That's like a crazy topic too that I've been lately thinking about as I grow older. It's like I want to expose my kid to certain movies,
Oh hell yeah!
but like
Yo.
also in like certain timelines. Like, you know, like
Mm.
movies that like I'm like, okay, this is more like a coming of age movie that like I feel like I want him to watch, you know, specifically around this age, and then
age.
like later on in life, and I want to ask him if he remembers like, how'd you feel when you watched it when you were like, I don't know, 15 or 16,
Mhm.
and then now like later on, like maybe in his 20s, be like, hey, how'd you feel about that? Like,
Yeah.
what'd you get back from that? Like, and just to see like
where they're
where
at.
they're at, you know, like, and if they like see the same things I saw, you know,
Mhm.
because it's like that's a big thing for me in the movies is that things that I watched as a kid don't necessarily mean that I view it in the same light now that I'm an adult.
Oh, not at all. There was I had to make like a whole list of movies that I remember watching as a kid, and I was like, but I know for a fact I didn't understand them. So I wrote a whole list, and it was tons of. I went on like a '90s movies spree.
Little
Just
binge.
watching nothing but '90s movies, and I fucking loved it, man. Movies, I love how movies are done.
Yes, I agree.
Um,
I agree.
I think they're a little cheesy sometimes, but I really
yeah.
end up enjoying them.
No doubt.
There's times where I'm like, oh god, this is totally a '90s movie.
I think I like, to be honest with you, I'm not a huge rom-com guy, but the 90s rom-coms are top tier.
I
Like,
feel like that was your low key way of seeing I Like to Be Little Spoon.
I don't mind being a little spoon every once in a while, man. You know what I mean? That's, you know, big boys need love too, baby. You know what I mean?
I fucking love rom-coms, bro. And I've come to the realization that because for a long time, like movies, things I've loved now as an adult, I've come to realize like they all like kind of stem from childhood. And like mom liked movies just as much as we did.
Yeah.
So I remember for a long period of time as a kid, we would go to Blockbuster like once a week per se.
Oh, that was like the
And we-
trip
Something
right
about
there, bro.
that, bro,
When it was time
like-
to go to Blockbuster, bro, just
And
it's static, bro.
the whole vibe was basically I got to pick a movie, and then my mom and my sister got to pick a movie, and then we would watch the movie
Watch those
together.
things. Man,
Yeah, that used to be the best part for me. That was the
Bro.
best part, just going and looking, for movies,
bro,
just being
like it's just
And
so
then-
many.
I remember being there for a minute, you know,
Yeah,
like
you
going
would.
through shit, reading
I'd be
shit.
reading shit, like
yeah,
reading what it's
yeah,
about. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Get you your candy and all of that.
And
bro. Blockbuster was
obviously,
something different.
being
Yeah,
a fucking young male that just likes action shit, I would pick something, you know, action related, superhero
Yep.
related, you know, somewhere along those lines. And then my mom
Huh.
sometimes would pick like rom-com.
yeah,
Or like, you know, like funny shit or like whatever, you know, she was like versatile in that aspect of like, oh, I kind of want to watch this. It looks like a good, like, or a decent, like, family movie. And that's how I ended up watching a lot of rom-coms that's how I ended up watching like Mean Girls and shit.
I
like,
I
shit-
watched Mean Girls as a little nigga. Like,
shit
my
that, like-
sister used to watch it.
Yeah,
so,
but like I would like
it's
I
a
promise
dope
you,
movie though.
I wouldn't have fucking picked that up like I was like, especially as a kid that
Oh, yeah.
age and
Uh-huh.
watched it unless it was like, okay, we're gonna watch this together, you know, like
yeah,
your sister picked it, we're all gonna watch it or something.
That's a cult.
like that.
Right? That's a
And
cult.
that's why I like rom coms, bro. Like,
Nah,
it's 'cause
rom-coms
mom
are
would
dope.
pick them and I would fuck with
Yeah.
them. Like, there's several movies. Like, one of the movies I own, and then like people kind of like have low key made fun of me when they come over and they see like my library that pulls up, and like you'll see like, you know, like Gone in 60 Seconds, you'll see Tokyo Drift, you'll see 47 Ronin, and then you'll see The Time Traveler's Wife. Because I fucking love rom coms, bro.
Uh-huh.
Like, and it's just one of those things that it's because of my mom. And that was one of mom's like really like favorite movies.
Favorite
and then
movies.
we watched it enough that like now it's low key became one of my favorites.
yeah.
I'd
And
say
it's,
my
like,
favorite
it's funny,
rom-com.
funny
Yeah.
to see like how that like was contaminated into my like my likings
Yeah,
over like that blockbuster trip. Those
Mm-hmm.
like little blockbuster trips that like we picked movies, and sometimes I had to sit through those movies. I was like, I don't really want to watch this, and then 30 minutes into it, you're laughing and you're finding it funny and shit. So
Mhm.
I love rom coms, bro. I
Yeah,
think
they're good.
they bring the family together in a different way than like some action
I agree.
thrillers. And
I
stuff
agree.
do. So I
agree.
appreciate that.
For sure. I agree. One of my favorite rom coms is, and actually one of my favorite movies, probably in like the top 15, is Crazy Rich Asians.
Dude, that shit's hilarious, yeah.
Bro, it's like
It's funny.
I've been like scrolling through that, bro, and I'm like, should I watch
Bro,
this?
yo, it's a feel good movie.
You
bro.
know what I
Like,
thought was funny too? Because I don't have a
watch
lot
that
of
tonight,
Asian
yeah.
friends. But the exposure of, I'm sure you could relate to some of the minority shit that they said. You know, like some of like the things that they dealt with as
Yeah,
like
for
being
sure.
a minority
Mhm.
family and like the you know the
dude, just the
the
opening
white
scene.
Americans.
The opening scene was such a flex scene, bro. Like,
I related to it heavily,
Heavily, bro, yeah.
heavily, bro, and it's funny.
and you
bro.
feel it, like you feel
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
fucking like. So the first opening scene, not to, I'll give you the scene only, but like, it's one of the main characters, the kid Nick, and him and his cousin when they were kids, and his mom and his mom's sister, and they go to this hotel in London, and it's pouring rain outside, right? And they walk inside. Mind you, this is like in like I think the time frame was like in the 90s, right? Like it was like in the late early 90s when they were there, and the dudes, the butlers or whatever, like the people who were working the front at this hotel were being super like racist, essentially racist, and just like assholes and not really helping this lady out and her family, like
Unhumanitarian, like-
unhumane, like, and like they were just being very like posh and like very passive aggressive, but like
Yeah.
racist. You know how they do? You
Yeah.
know how they get like that?
we know
and-
what you
Yeah,
mean.
you know what I'm talking about.
We can
and-
relate.
And so she goes, all right, you know what? Can I use your phone to call my husband real quick? Like, that's the least you can do, right? Like, you know, I'm here with my kids. It's raining outside. At least you can do is let me use my phone. Like, let me use your phone to call my husband. She calls her husband, and she goes, hey, they're not really, like, I need you to call this person because they're not, you know, they're acting up essentially here. So her husband calls the owner of the hotel, right? Owner of the hotel, old white dude, comes downstairs. He's just like, oh, hey, well, I forgot her name. He's like, hey guys, like, how you doing? How you doing? Everything okay? And then the workers are kind of looking at him like, sir, there's got to be a mistake. Like, and he's like, no, you idiot. Like, go give them whatever they want. And then right, like, a couple minutes after that, he's like, yo, this is your new boss, like, because they're the new, like, the Asian people.
The new owners.
They're the new owners of the hotel, and these motherfuckers
shit.
didn't even like. They didn't even know, like, that's they talking to their actual boss, like, disrespecting the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And so when the old owner tells them, like, yo, this is the new owner, like, this is your new boss, they just freeze and was just like, oh fuck. And she was like, yo, go get my bag.
Yo,
like,
that sparked a question for you, Bree, because I see it in, like, have you ever seen Atlanta?
the show.
Yes.
Dude, the first season was immaculate to me.
All right,
dude.
one thing I love
It
about
was.
Atlanta is
It
the
was.
way fucking Glover really throws jabs out at, like, the social culture of racism
Mm.
and how, like, he subtly puts little things that, like, I'm sure the black community as well as, like, other minority communities go through. And the way he just, like, so subtly puts things into his production is something I really enjoy, because I think for the most part, a lot of people, like, it would go over their head. And
Oh,
then for a lot of other people, they would be like, oh shit. Like, you know, and then it would open their perspective up a lot. Do you find yourself trying to want to do something like that when it comes to, like, film production?
Oh, that is totally up my alley, bro.
Yeah, because
Totally.
that's
up
something
my
that goes
alley.
through my head if I was to produce. And because, like, even the reason why I'm asking is because, like, even like my white friends that have lived here for a long period of time, or somewhere where there's a large concentration of
Minorities?
white people versus
okay.
minorities, when I mentioned to them that, like, they're so socially contaminated that I, like, talk American or, like, talk like a white person per se,
Oh,
that
Westerner.
they're like, oh, you don't go through these, like, discriminations or this, like, way of people looking at you or whatever. And I'm like, no, bro, like, I still go through that. And it's like, it's what you see is, like, years of fighting through, like, stereotypes and, like, just, like, the way people look at you. But in my mind, I'm like, if I ever wanted to create something in terms of, like, film or production, I would definitely want to show, like, those ironic moments that people think that they're okay, but, like, us as minorities, like, almost, like, talk behind, like, white people's back, and we're like, dude, can you believe that shit?
These motherfuckers.
Can you believe that shit? They really fucking said that shit. Can
Get
you
a load
believe
of
that
this
shit?
guy.
You know, which, you know what other fucking movie did a really good job at that? I don't know if you've seen it. It's on Netflix. It's called You People. Jonah Hill produced it.
I have not watched that.
My
Oh, Jonah Hill did that?
boy, I was laughing my ass
I know
off.
he produced that.
Yeah,
Jonah
yeah,
did.
I believe he's an executive producer.
Okay. Did you guys see mid-90s?
No, I didn't see that.
It's called Mid-90s?
Yeah. It's about, like, a little skateboarding kid, right?
It's about a skateboarding community. It focuses on one main little kid, but it's about the community of, like, 90s LA skateboarding. And that Jonah Hill directed and produced that. Yeah, man, he did. That movie was amazing.
Good.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Kind of gives that Lord of Dogtown kind of vibe.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It kind of gives you that, like, young kid kind of coming of age, figuring this shit out, finding his, core friend group. Like, just kind of like when you coming of age, you young, you trying to find that band of brothers, like, early
Which is
on,
kind of weird. Like, I look back and I feel like a lot of people went through, like, the skateboarding phase.
How could you not, bro? Like, that shit was.
Bro.
I feel like
I missed. I was
but no, but they the culture goes hand in hand, though, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like, you on wheels, bro. Like,
yeah, but it was still like on the
it was like
kind of like
skiing
the
and
console,
snowboarding.
yeah, the console wars. That's literally what I mean. We're like, well, you got Xbox, you're not fucking cool as us. Like, it was kind of the same.
It was definitely.
Even though it's the same community, within that same community, like, because you were on blades, you weren't cool like the skateboarders. But if you were on skateboards, you weren't cool like the rollerbladers. You know? There's that weird, like, mentality and rivalry.
Now, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that.
But still the same community.
But like, just that I think everybody. I think definitely our generation more so than any other generation before and after, because we had. So, like, the 70s and the 80s was the start and rise of skateboarding, like, as a whole. So that shit was still brand new to everybody.
Right.
Whereas the 90s and 2000s, that shit was, like, full-fledged.
This one became mainstream,
like, mainstream, like, it was that shit, bro. Like,
I remember...
and then punk rock music went hand in hand with the shit, bro. Like, it was just the...
Tony Hawk was big, right? In the, the 90s?
Tony Hawk was big in the 80s. Tony Hawk became a skateboarder. Like, he was known in the 80s, bro.
Really?
Yeah, actually. Like, Tony Hawk in the mid to late 80s, he was I forgot the name of his fucking group. I could figure it out
But that's when he like started to pop off.
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. He was in the 80s. Him and
Because
like
the
a
90s,
bunch
he
of
was
other.
already basically the GOAT.
So yeah, in the 90s
Like,
was when he became like that
in
was
X Games and shit. Like
that was
any of
him
those
solidifying
crazy
who
things.
he was.
He was
But
like basically the GOAT.
you gotta think, man. The 90s, you had so many. You had Tony Hawk. You had like Bob Burnquist. You had fucking Mike Mullally, like Valley. Like
I don't
you
know
had
any of these people.
you had. There were so many.
I
Like
remember these names.
you had Daewon Song, bro. Like you had so many fucking like skateboarders. You had the Ryan Shecklers, the Najee Houstons. Like you know what I mean?
I
Like
used to watch a lot of that shit.
bro, I used to love that
I
shit,
used to
dude.
watch a lot of
It
that
was just
game
so
shit,
cool,
bro.
man. Like I don't know, they were like they were the rebels of sports. I feel like
Yeah, like
they were the badasses,
I can see
right?
that.
Of
The
bad
sports,
boys.
bro.
I
Like
can see that.
That's
like
how I feel very much about like extreme sports.
completely.
That whoever does extreme
Yeah.
sports are like kind of like the bad boys of
'Cause
like the
there's
sports
no-
industry.
There's no right
Like
or wrong.
the
You know what I mean?
Devils, like the Travis Pastrana's, the Ken
Pastrami's.
Block, Pastramis. I need some mustard. But yeah, I think those are like kind of like the bad boys of like the sport industry, where like that I've always been more interested in that than like actual like sports.
Sports, I agree.
Like I've always been more interested in like rally and like car jumps and flips and like bike jumps and
exciting.
flips like that. Yeah, yeah.
It's
That's why I drive a
exciting,
motorcycle.
Yeah,
'Cause
be
I, like,
careful on that. Though,
I
bro.
fucking would just watch people like, dude, like I've always had like the weird obsession with speed that like I would watch it like that, or even like Nitro Circus, and I was like, dude, like I'd fucking love
It's a great show.
to have a property where I could just like fuck around with my friends and just like do dumb shit. Like let's jump this. Okay. Like, you know,
And
like
get fucking paid.
and get paid for sure. That'd be dope. But I was always attracted to that more than like going and like I don't know, being a good basketball player or a
Yeah.
good football player. I don't know. That's just my vibe.
I think also too. I think the thing that I liked about it more was like your career was completely and entirely in your control.
Until you got injured.
Yeah, well, that's not in your control. But
Yeah.
kind of.
But yeah, for the most
But
part.
like what I mean is where like on a team, you got a specific role to play. And if you don't play that role well, your coach, like you can have 3 off games, just say it's a bad week, and your coach is like, yo, you gotta go. That's that. You break your leg in skateboarding, you could chill for a little bit.
Yeah, you can recover.
You can recover, and then when you come back, you can still bust out a crazy ass
Well,
trick and get right back up.
I'm
there.
sure Hawk went through because
Completely.
I keep mentioning Hawk because he's like one of the only names
He's
in skateboards
he's
that
I mean
know,
he's
so.
the man. He's like he's the Michael Jordan of
Yeah,
skateboarding.
yeah, for sure.
Essentially.
And I'm sure he's gone through injuries and gone right back and fucking
Yeah.
got awards. And
Bro,
shit.
these motherfuckers, they're prone to break bones. You feel me? That comes
Yeah,
with that
bro, that
culture.
comes
Like
with the
that
culture,
comes with
yeah,
that culture. So
absolutely.
like that's not really a setback. You know what I mean? A setback is just like eventually you either just aren't I guess producing new tricks or like you're not like because everything obviously always advances. You know what I mean? Like and it always gets different. Like you know what people look for, what you know what you're doing. But I just feel like skateboarding, snowboarding, like those extreme sports, like you were the one in control. Like you were the master of that trick. You know what I mean? So like it's different. Whereas a team, like you got a role to play. Like you have a specific role to play, and
if you're not doing that role, they gotta find someone.
they got to
else that
find
can
someone else
it
to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like skateboarding,
It falls
everybody
under
essentially
you.
could do the one role, which is skateboarding. But how you uniquely maneuver
that
your,
one
stick,
thing,
your skateboard is what sets you apart from everybody else.
Right.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
That
I
aspect of it.
never saw it that way, but that
You know what
makes
I mean?
total sense, bro. Because it's you, the time you put in
Yeah,
to
like,
learn that specific trick, to like land that specific flip, whatever the fuck it is, like maybe even do the guardrail for an X amount of time because it looks dope.
yeah.
That was you going up and fucking doing that 1,000 times, and until you figured out how to do it exactly right.
And
So,
9 times out of 10, you were doing a trick that nobody else could do. Football, essentially, everybody knows how to. Everybody can tackle. Everybody who plays the sport knows how to tackle, knows how to catch, knows how to run. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's really, unless you do something a little bit more than others, you don't really stand out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
because everybody's essentially doing the same shit. Like, everybody, there's,
Or has the potential. To
yeah,
do it
like,
as well.
there's numerous teams with everybody playing the same role.
Right.
So
Right.
you gotta, like, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It's different. I could.
You know what I think is cool too about skateboarding is like I know several people now that are like way older and they're fucking still shredding. Like have kids and shit and like they talk about how like yeah, once in a while I go to the skate park. And like they're like well in their 30s. And
Yeah,
shit.
dude.
I think that's
skateboarders-
kind of dope that like it's something that stays within you for that long. For
sure.
You know, that like it's like
It's muscle
when
memory.
I want to clear my mind, I go and skate for
Go
a little
skate.
bit.
I
go
wish, dude.
fucking
I
go
wish I
around
stuck with it.
the neighborhood
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah. But it's cool though, because even now, like skateboarders, they're like, I don't even know how to explain them, but they're like creative like individuals. Like now, a lot of skateboarders are like models, and they're also like actors. There's a lot of, and I don't know if you ever like. There's a lot like skateboarders cross over a lot more than I feel like any other athlete.
Dude,
What I mean by that is like into other industries. Like Najee Houston, like he's a personality, but also a skateboarding damn near god. You know what I mean? And he's also like got hella like sponsorships. It's like there's just different shit. Like I don't know.
I think that kind of goes to show like different personalities, no?
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
And how like some people, even though they can be like super good skateboarders, doesn't mean that they can be like multi versatile. Where you know they can be a model and they can be an actor, and but like I think that has to do with like
the person,
them, the person, where they're like they can manage those different tasks just as much as skateboarding, where some of the others probably just can manage the skateboarding alone, you know? And all that other stuff would be too much for them.
No, you're right.
I don't know. That's just my perspective on that.
How much time you got, man?
Huh?
So how much time you got here?
Oh, dude, I got time, bro. I got time.
All right, how about we take a quick little break?
I need some water.
Get some water, take a piss.
I came prepared.
Me and Tsunami will finish up with our top 5 or our...
This is a gallon.
I want to touch on some of these questions you got here, bro.
Huh?
I want to touch up on some of these questions you got here. Because you could break these down into questions like...
I know, but dude, I got a couple episodes.
Oh, all right.
Oh, you got a couple there.
There you go. All right.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, we got so much shit we can talk about again.
Say less. You
But,
can break them up into like factions. Like, yeah.
Rip that thing, big boy.
Yeah, but everybody, Shinobi Podcast, we're going to take a quick little break.
The
We're going to be right back. We're going to finish this thing up. We'll holler at y'all in a bit.
Stay tuned.
Peace out.
We'll be back.
Back, man. We back from our break. We're feeling good. We hydrated. Had a little meeting of the minds, on the break. That's the shit y'all can't listen to.
Exclusive.
But yeah, we back, man. We're going to finish this thing up. I realized I was the only one that hadn't done his list. So I'm going to go down my list, everyone.
And that's top 5 movies if you were stuck on an island.
Yes, there you go. There you go, baby. So I'm going to go ahead and say Batman, the Nolan Batman trilogy. Which I think, did everybody have that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's in my top 10.
I low-key feel like I sparked the thought process when I brought it up. But it's a great movie.
So Mr. Smoov said it before you.
No.
I had this written down yesterday, nigga.
Last time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The last time we were together, I like when you asked me, that's like one of the first ones that came up.
Oh, I apologize.
Don't be sorry, just be careful.
That's fair. I love you.
All right. So the Batman series, so the Nolan Batman. And then
Legendary.
I had to throw some comedy in there, man. I needed some comedy. If I'm gonna be on the island, I gotta be laughing.
I don't think I had comedy in mine, actually.
So I said the Rush Hour series.
The series?
So one, 2, and 3 Rush Hour.
What's your favorite
I'll
one
take
out of the
that.
3?
Yeah, I need to know as well.
2.
Yes.
Yes. Come closer.
Love
I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
That movie is top tier, bro.
Yeah, bro, top tier.
See, that's
The second one, I never tired.
nah. That's one.
Yeah.
Actually, that's funny you said. That's in my top. That might be my top 10 also, because that's one of those joys that I could put on whenever.
That's in like my
It's
top
just like,
25. I wouldn't say
whenever.
top 10, but top 25.
Yeah, all right, fair.
Yeah.
That one, like the Vegas scenes,
Specifically
me-
Rush Hour 2 as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
Specifically. Like,
Yeah.
I like the trilogy, but specifically Rush Hour 2, I could watch over and over
Yeah.
and over.
They did that thing in that one, bro.
for sure.
I agree.
They did
For
that
sure.
thing
And the
in that one.
bloopers, too. Like,
Yeah.
dude, honestly, like, immaculate, bro. Immaculate movie.
Shout out
And
Jackie Chan,
for it
bro.
to be a sequel and be better than, like, the first is honestly, like, great.
But
The
you
only-
could tell it was fun on set. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
making it. You could tell they had
Yeah,
fun
absolutely.
making it.
Just off the bloopers alone, like you could just tell they were in a comfortable setting per se.
And then the chemistry
between him and Jackie.
between Chris Tucker and Jackie, man, like that duo is like undeniable right there, man. They have such a great chemistry, man.
Yeah.
Yo, Jackie's like low key a comedian, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was in remember like the Shanghai Nights and Shanghai Noon with Owen
Yeah,
Wilson.
absolutely. Yeah.
Those are fire.
Yeah.
Those are fire.
Shanghai
That's like
Noon, I love that one.
Pretty sure that's a Disney movie too.
I believe they are.
it?
Actually, yeah. Rush Hour 2. All right. I ain't mad at that. You know, Rush Hour series, you said, right?
Yeah.
Rush Hour series.
I'm taking the series with me, bro.
Fair enough.
The DVD like bundle.
They actually weren't all bad
Smoov
either,
took
bro.
Harry Potter. He got about 18 movies with him.
That's a fact, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I have iRobot.
Ooh,
That's a big one for me. That's a big one for me.
Damn.
That was one when I was a
Why-
kid.
why
I could
is-
watch a lot.
Why
Like,
is it so big?
Man, I've when that first came out and I saw the character that Will Smith portrayed, I saw a reflection of myself. Like in him. Like even at that age, you know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
And I felt like I've always had this sense of like seeing shit that was coming, and at some points felt like I'm crazy, like no one else is fucking seeing the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And I can also
Yeah, because he's kind of like low key a conspiracy theorist in a way, where he's like, "Yo, the robots are gonna get us," and everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Shut the fuck up!
yeah.
Shut the fuck up! What are you
Just eat
talking
your
about?" And then the
straight
robots are
potato
fucking
pie.
coming for us. So I see what you're saying.
It's like because the people that are trying to push the robots out, they're trying to make them human, so you accept this inorganic creature,
right,
you know,
right.
into your life, and he's just seeing.
The
He's
nonsense
seeing
behind
through the
it.
bullshit. Yeah. Everybody's like seeing the surface of the bullshit and just happy, you know, in naivety, and he's just kind of sitting there, which is kind of like a double-edged sword, because it's like now I fucking feel alone because I feel like everybody sees the surface, and you motherfuckers don't see this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And no one's fucking listening.
Right.
On top of it, you know what I'm saying? So, I identify with that character, and I just like it. You know, I think it foreshadowed a lot. It was a lot of foreshadowing of what is here now.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And
for sure.
Yeah, that's a good
and
one.
I've just always seen it coming, man.
That's a really good one.
But
It
yeah,
is.
iRobot, that's one that's really stuck.
All right.
The Wolverine. We talked about
Which
the
one?
X-Men movies. No, it's just called the
The
Wolverine.
Wolverine?
The
Okay.
Wolverine.
Japanese one,
Yep.
right? The
Yeah,
one that
yeah,
takes
he went to Japan. I don't know. I have this.
That's the one that where he like gives his power away essentially at the end, right?
No, that's Logan. In this one, he actually there's like a parasite that gets put inside of him, and he starts to lose his ability to heal.
Okay.
You know, and so
And the old man's after it though, no?
the old man is after his immortality, like his
Like his
healing factor.
regenerative
Yeah, because
properties.
the old man's about to die, so he's wanting to use Logan
To
use his
regenerate back.
DNA, yeah, to and
Yeah. I
through
remember.
doing that would make Logan human, and so he's like trying to convince Logan like I can actually give you a death, because Logan's a fucking tortured soul. He's old as a motherfucker. He just
at that point
ages
he's like
very slow.
hundreds of years
Yeah.
old at that point.
He's been involved in like every
War.
world war. that
Every
there's
war.
been, you know what I'm saying? He's just this tortured soul. You know what I'm saying? And he's under the guise of trying to use him. He's trying to be like, let me give you some relief from your pain.
Right. And that's his whole approach. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Let me set you free.
yeah, that's just a very good movie, man. I identify a lot with those kinds of I guess like feral. Feral.
I like that word.
But with some heart though. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some heart too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I just love the just the atmosphere and the cinematography of it, like in Japan.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
love
vibe.
that scene when the fucking ninja come and stick all the arrows in his back, and it's like you have the snow, and then the ninjas is like up on the buildings, and they got like the ropes tied to the
Yeah,
arrows,
bro.
and they fucking pulling them and shit. And he's trying to get to old girl,
Oh, I know exactly what
You know
you're
what I'm
talking
saying?
about.
and he's like putting everything into it. And then they stick
That one
that
with the
one,
shit in
yeah,
it, right?
in his back, and that puts him out. And just to know, like, just to see a motherfucker like he went to his till he couldn't.
Till he couldn't.
Like he was coming to get it, man. And I just appreciate characters like that, man.
I
Fucking
agree.
courageous characters.
Which like
you know
crazy
what I'm saying?
side note that I mean like that thought just sparked. Last Samurai is somewhere in my top 10.
Oh,
And it's precisely what you're like because of what you are
Man.
breaking down right now.
it's in there.
It's in there.
Yo,
like the whole culture, the scenes.
that
Like
movie.
I find that movie incredibly inspirational.
That movie is amazing.
That's like I also view it as like a man's man movie
for
because
sure.
it shows you how like this like top notch like colonel or general because he was like up there in the ranks in the military.
He was
He's
drunk.
captain.
It was captain. Okay,
Mhm.
so as like a captain that had seen shit in the war, like he still was very vulnerable with like his emotional side,
Bro.
and it shows how like once he starts to embrace that, and like he becomes more of a like well-rounded man, like more whole man, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like it's his like story into manhood. So I like that fucking movie. Speaks.
I want to watch
speaks
that.
a lot.
I haven't seen that in so long.
Fight that beast, bro.
Yeah,
That
bro.
movie is so good.
Every man goes through their own journey of like, all right, like this is how it really is, you know? And you got to see past the bullshit that like socially we've been contaminated from. But yeah,
Dude, I gotta watch that one. It's been a while since I've
Fire
seen that
movie.
again.
Love that one.
I had that on
Fire
DVD,
movie.
bro. That was like I watched that as a kid. That was an amazing movie, dude. That character, the character development in that movie on all
all
levels,
realms,
is
yeah,
fucking amazing.
because you also have the contrast of that one samurai that
I
hates
hated
him,
him, bro.
and then eventually becomes like
It's
you,
fucking-
they die together as
Yeah.
brothers in arms, you know?
Well, bro, you have
That movie's
the
fucking
wife
fire.
of the guy he kills
Yeah.
caring for him.
That has to take him in.
He's living
It's
in her
not
home
necessarily that she wants to.
with
It's
her
like,
kid.
yeah, Big Boss said, "Hey, you gotta take care of the dude that killed your husband," and she's like, okay," and she just does it because that's the culture, you know? Like,
Yeah, he pretty much said it was your husband's karma. Like
Yeah.
he tried to kill him, and hey,
but now you gotta take care of this guy.
yeah, yeah, man.
And they build a relationship.
Yeah,
That
Every-
movie's,
like,
that movie's really good.
great.
I just love how he finds his peace, man.
Yeah, and the
Once
war,
he
the
finds
fight
that peace-
scenes in that movie are crazy.
And you can feel that emotion too. Of
Yeah,
how
you
he's like
feel that,
lost
yeah.
at the beginning, and he's trying to find like a way, and then the samurai are like,
When they put that
Let us show you.
dude, when they get
And
that
they-
Gatling gun going, and he just starts spraying,
powerful,
dude,
bro.
you feel that.
The
It's
whole
like
movie's powerful.
shit, bro.
You feel like it's like a dying of an era. It's just like
It was.
just getting mowed down out there, man. And it's you could feel it. You could just feel everything that embodied kind of coming to an end.
Absolutely.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like how you have motherfuckers using swords and arrows, and motherfuckers on the other hand with machine guns just
saying, fuck
spraying
it,
it
with their
down,
swords and just running.
and just
fuck
like
And they know they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like they're aware of it. Like
Until
they
they
talk
get
about
close,
it and shit, And then fucking dude, it's great. It's a great movie.
that's
bro.
a really good movie. You know, it's
Great.
another really good one. Not to throw you off your 5,
Go ahead.
but have you guys seen The Patriot?
Of
Yes,
course.
bro. That's
Damn,
enough.
that's
man.
another one for
Damn,
me
we gotta
too.
make 10. Can I take 10?
Yeah,
tonight?
let's do 10. Let's do 10. Or we can say that, but yeah, nah, The Patriot.
The Patriot. Do you know that movie? I'm pretty sure it's The Patriot. That's where he
Mel Gibson.
like fights in the forest and shit, right? Like
yes.
Oh, yeah.
like with his kids and
Yeah,
shit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So an interesting fact that I know about that is that's essentially when guerrilla warfare started.
Yo, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like essentially that is the depiction of where the old school of doing war, where you can see it in the movie where like
Fucking lines and
they
shit.
line
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
and then
When they
start-
hide and then like
yeah.
pop up and like,
Well, if you guys remember in the movie,
it's funny. That's where I learned that too.
if you guys remember in the movie, he even says like, because the Union soldiers, they were taking like the British tactics and getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he even mentions it early. He's like, this commander is using their tactics and wondering why he's getting fucked up.
fucked up.
So they had to have an alternative to those,
Yeah.
you know, just that line up and fucking shoot each other kind of style, you know, in order to win.
Absolutely.
Turned into guerrillas, man.
That movie is that movie's amazing. That's another one you feel the emotion in that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's when they killed his son,
Like,
bro.
when they killed
Well,
his
the first
both his kids,
one-
bro.
The first one when he fucking, I love it because
Heath Ledger did a great
it
job.
shows
with
you
that.
it shows you the difference. I love that scene because like he went and got his boys. They already knew how to use the gun. You know, it's like,
And they're youngins,
yeah,
bro.
like
Like,
8-9 years old. Bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe like 7 and 9 were like the
Yeah.
age differences that they show, but then he was like, "Yo, well, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna sit here, you're gonna shoot, and then like
you gonna reload for
30
your brother?
30
Yeah.
seconds later, you're gonna shoot again, or like whatever the instructions he
That's
gives.
my
them.
favorite scene in the whole
Popping
movie.
out,
Yeah.
and it's like, what the fuck? Where's this coming from? And then by the time they realize it's the little boy shooting behind a like
to
a hill
tree.
or whatever, a tree.
Yeah.
He like runs up on them with his axe and
And
fucking
fucking
fucks
goes
them
ham,
up,
bro.
You see throughout that, like, his boys started taking more fire, and he started like yelling out.
Yeah,
So
he's
just-
like, ah!
Yo,
I was like, bro,
damn, bro. I actually might have to put that in my 5, bro. Like,
Yeah, bro. The
that's in
Patriots
my
of Fire
10 for
movie.
sure,
And when
bro.
it comes down to the tomahawk scene,
Yo,
once he starts fucking
That scene is a making a man scene though, like
bro, that
becoming
type
of
of shit
age.
does it for
Oh,
me.
like,
what-
His
that
kids,
shit-
his kids are looking at him like
But something
revenge, avenge his son. Like that's
Yeah.
like that was pure hurt. Like
Yeah,
that was
bro.
just like, yo, you just took my
Something
child.
I found
bro.
super
Like,
dope about that tomahawk scene that we're talking about is that's essentially like the moment that he gets back into that light. Because if you realize it,
yeah.
he like
Yeah.
had that shit up in like a fucking
a
some
chest.
sort of chest
Yeah.
or like trunk or whatever you want to
You're
call
right.
it.
You're right. I didn't even think
That it
about
was like
that.
hidden behind like or underneath things that he like
Some
pulled
John
out.
Wick shit.
And the
like,
whole scene, I like remember specifically that he like looks at it like, I gotta go back out there and do this shit. You know, like type of vibe. And
Well,
he
that's the
grabs
thing
them.
about him. He was done with. He's a character that was done with that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like,
He
I'm,
found his
I'm a
peace.
family man.
He had his kids.
his wife died too.
Fuck
like,
his
he was
whole
like,
shit.
Fact.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh my god. Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
And then they
he got
fucked his
pushed-
shit
he got
up,
Pushed
bro.
into going back to those ways.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Dog, that
100%.
movie, like I'm like picturing
Great
all
movie.
the scenes in my head. Like that movie is very
Powerful.
fucking good, yo. Like,
Powerful. Also shows you too, like when I don't know if you guys have this effect, but sometimes when I watch those movies that are like kind of war based, and it's like a large group of people that are gathered together, like even Lord of the Rings makes me feel this way. And some of the orc scenes, like there's just like this weird like the hair stands up in the back of my hair.
I know exactly what you're
in
describing.
my head, and like it's just like it's like this euphoric like
Yeah,
like,
I know exactly what you think. It's like an honorary like feeling.
And
Like
I always think to myself, like, damn, like if you like back in those days, that shit, like, no wonder people died for their country and shit. Like that shit must feel intoxicating.
yeah,
Dude,
That
you-
shit
imagine
must feel
having
like, dude, I'm getting the
thousands.
chills just talking about it. Like being there with like your dudes that like you're looking over and like, because most of the time, right? Like back in those days, it was people from your village. You knew these
Mhm.
people from one way, shape, or like, you know, it's like
Yeah.
Betty's kid. You might have not known him, but you know Betty, and you know that's his like his young boy, whatever, you know. And like the fact that these people like stood shoulder to shoulder, knowing that they were going into battle most likely to die, like had to have produced this euphoric, crazy sensation in that like hand to
goes back
hand
ancient,
combat
too.
scenes and like yeah.
that goes back ancient too.
And
bro.
that makes me think of The King on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
That movie is
with
amazing.
Timothy Charlemagne.
That
Charlemagne,
movie
whatever
is
his name
so
Charlemagne.
good. When he does the whole stab on top of it, yo, that movie is so.
Also, love the fact that like what's it fucking Twilight's character.
What was he, the
Pattinson?
French?
Robert Patterson's character that like at one point he calls him out
Oh,
and
you're
he's
right.
like,
and he
"Hey,
kills
bro,
the
you
fuck.
and me,
Yo, he
1v1.
fucks him
Yeah,
up.
you and me, bro.
bro.
You and me 1v1. Fuck killing all our people, bro. You and me. And that like that character, Robert Pattinson's character, he's like, no way. We're gonna outnumber you. We're gonna fuck you up. Blah 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 blah. And then like whatever happens in the movie happens, and you get to see like even he gets his like shit rocked. Like shit eventually
That
happens, bro.
movie is
Great
that
movie.
was a blind watch for me. Like
Another great movie that
I
makes me
just,
feel
like,
that way, bro.
yeah.
Gladiator too, like just big scenes like that like just produce some like primitive fucking instinct in me where I'm like, let's fucking do it, dude. Like it's crazy. 300. That like that's I just recently watched that and same thing, bro. Like just gives you this weird euphoric sensation. Black Hawk Down, I would say as
Oof,
well.
That's my shit.
For me, bro, it's the tactics, bro.
Absolutely.
The fucking
The
the,
whole, like-
war tactics, like
Troy.
how
Troy's
to beat
another one.
That's a
another, how to
great
beat
movie.
another army. Like I love that type of thinking.
Yeah.
Like that strategic.
And you get
kind
to
of thinking.
see like how they would have acted in like those times, like what the conversations would be like, because like even Game of Thrones kind of gives you a little insight of like a bunch of dudes like the elders in a tent talking about like what is our war strategy going to be like,
Yeah.
and it gives you that feeling like that look, that insight into those times of it's not a bunch of people behind computers, it was a bunch of people in front of a fucking table sitting there and being like, does this fucking make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, should we do this? Or it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Cool. Someone say something, and better be a good idea, because like what the fuck are we gonna do?
They were playing chess.
Yeah, Yeah.
Might have a table where they're moving pieces here.
Yeah,
and there,
yeah.
Actually seeing the battlefield before they even go on
And
to
that's
it.
always the depiction.
You
That
know?
exactly what you're describing is them like pushing around like the little symbols that like signify the enemy versus them
Yeah,
or whatever.
or certain battalions or
That's just cool.
Absolutely.
cavalry.
That's just cool.
Which
You know
reminds me
what
of
I'm
the
saying?
game Risk in a little in a way.
Bro. I almost went like full nerd mode, like into Risk. Like I'm talking about like games, like I'm talking about keeping score, like not keeping score. When I say keeping score, like it's like the way you really play, you could do it like competition style in a sense where like you could play one game, but you could really do it like a like a 7-game
tournament
series.
style?
Yeah, like 7-game series where like you and 3 people that you start with, y'all just keep going. Yeah, bro. I went full blown into that. That game is that shit is like a chess board game, bro.
We've only played it once.
That shit is really like a
Really?
chess board
Yeah.
game, bro, because
Yeah.
it's like
It
you
takes a
gotta.
while too.
It's a very long game because you
I-
gotta know when to attack, when to build. Like that's strategic.
Because you start off with everybody starts off with a certain number of like
So
infantry, cavalry, and artillery.
yeah, so you get a certain amount of players, and then everybody like in the deck, you shuffle out cards, right? And those cards are different countries. And that's where you start off on the map. You know what I mean? Like everybody starts off on the map that way, and then you start rolling dice, and that is where you either could build,
I
you
haven't
choose to
played in a
build,
while,
or you
yeah.
duel each other. And then if you duel, essentially, you just fight to the death, and whoever wins
Takes
takes
over
that
that
country. And then you try to take over continents, essentially, and then
Right.
take over the whole map. That game.
It can
That's
be
one
lengthy
of those.
too.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a good one though. That's a really good board game. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give y'all one. I don't know if any of you guys seen. Have you ever seen Snatch?
Yeah.
With Brad Pitt.
Yes.
That one
That's good.
Irish British dude, I think he
Jason
is.
Statham is
Who
in
directs
it.
that?
Nah,
though?
Jason
That's,
Statham is a
that's
director.
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie's the director.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah. What
yeah.
else does he do?
I like Guy Ritchie's movie.
Didn't Guy Ritchie do The Gentleman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He did The Gentleman. He did Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
That's that
Of
UK
course,
boy
'cause
right
that's very-
there.
Those
He's
are
a
all
UK
similar,
man.
like storytelling
Mhm.
ways.
Yeah.
Even the production style. It's so funny you say that. The
It's one called Rock
direction.
and Roller too.
Yeah, bro. The production style. He's got like this very raunchy, like
Very like.
crazy, like undercut, like where the camera's like down here type shit.
Oh shit! He did the
Bro.
Covenant. He did that new
Yes,
movie with
he
Jake
did do The
Gyllenhaal.
Covenant.
Holy
Yeah.
shit! I gotta watch that now.
He did do that.
At first, I wasn't very fucking on board with it, but he did Sherlock Holmes. He did
Really?
Aladdin. He did
Huh.
King Arthur.
King Arthur was a great movie. King Arthur was a really dope movie.
Oh, he did the old school Mean Machine. That's crazy. That's essentially The Longest Yard,
Longest Yard, yeah.
but in football version.
Fucking with what's the old boy name?
I forget his name, but he's that big.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh, but that's like the old school one.
Mhm.
He,
There's 3.
oh, you're talking about Longest Yard though, right?
No, wasn't Burt Reynolds in the original one?
Yeah, but then they made the Adam Sandler remake,
Mhm.
and then that's based, I believe, on The Machine, which is a soccer Mean Machine.
Oh, gotcha.
It's a soccer movie. It's like a hooligan movie, kind of.
Gotcha.
I've seen it. It's pretty good.
Speaking of that, there's this
Damn, she's
movie
got it.
I
Pretty
saw a long time ago called
Green Street Hooligans. My nigga, I was just about to talk about that. Son, the minute he said hooligans, I was like, yo.
I got that joint from the library, and I was just looking through, and I was just like, you know what? Because it had Frodo
Elijah
in it,
Wood,
right?
bro. And my man's from Sons of Anarchy, Jax from Sons of Anarchy, bro. What's
I
his
don't know if
name?
I've seen
Charlie.
that.
Charlie.
I know you're talking about.
Shit.
Was it
man.
Pacific Rim?
Yes, Charlie. Charlie Cunham. Charlie Cunham. Charlie Cunham. Pretty sure that's his name.
Hunnam.
I forgot his name.
Hunnam. Cunham. One of those.
Hunnam. I'm looking at.
Okay, Charlie Hunnam. There you go. Yeah, bro. That movie
That was good.
is. They get down.
I don't know if I've seen that.
They get busy, bro. I came across that just randomly on YouTube one day, like
Oh,
7 years ago, bro. That like probably longer than that.
It's pretty much a story of those fucking soccer hooligans over in the UK and shit. They're pretty much gangs. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they be fucking fighting, meeting up and fighting and stabbing each other and
Bro,
shit like that.
bottling bats and they go.
And
at
I think
Yeah,
the
they're
story-
literally gangs, basically.
Yeah, I think the story is Elijah Wood's character. I think he's from America, and I think he comes over, and his cousin is in the
Is a
hooligan
So,
gang.
so what happens is he went to Harvard
Oh,
and he got he got caught cheating on the test or somebody cheated off of him, and because of that they got like in
Expelled.
trouble. Yeah, he got expelled, and he went to go live with his sister.
Okay.
And his sister's husband was like an OG in the hooligan world, like for West Ham. And Charlie Hunnam was his little brother.
Okay.
And his little brother was like the, bad motherfucker. You know what I mean? He was the bad guy. So he came around, and Elijah Wood, which is Frodo, he came around to the house, and Elijah Wood was just kind of chilling around the house all day type shit. And then this dude went over there and was just like, his older brother, the wife's husband, was like, yo, take him with you. Like, just look out
Make
for
a
him.
man out of him.
Like, take him to the bars or some shit. And he's like, nah. Like, he's not coming with us. And he's like, nah, take him with him. And took him with him. But his sister was so like, nah, like, I don't want my brother with him, because she knew what they was about. And essentially, he got brought into the lifestyle of hooligan shit, bro. Like,
And he just embraced it.
bro, they go at it, like, and they
Damn, I
just,
might have to
You'll like
watch
that.
it.
bro, that
Yeah?
movie.
You'll like that. I know you'll appreciate it.
I ain't gonna hold you, George. The opening scene of that movie will already take you. It's a fight off rip, right?
Bro, I'm gonna look up if I can stream this.
It should be on. I feel like you can watch it on YouTube right now, probably for free.
All right, before we close out, my last one is gonna be the Lord of the Rings series. All three and the extended edition.
Extended edition.
Theatrical.
Oh,
Let me
damn.
throw that out there. Extended edition. Yeah.
I just
Lord of
watched
the
that
Rings
one
show.
actually a couple weeks ago.
Which
the
one?
extended edition, and I was like, it's weird seeing some of the scenes that they left out. Like,
Yeah,
back
because
in
your
there.
mind,
The extra shit.
your mind's already engraved on what's gonna go next. Because like personally, I've watched like the regular cut so
Mhm.
many times that when you start watching the extended or even like the theatrical cuts, you're like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Mhm.
That's like they cut out like I think they're like I'm pretty sure the extended are like over 3 hours.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
each extended version is over 3 hours.
Over 3 hours.
Yeah,
Some of them, I think one of them is hitting like 3:30. Like
probably
I think
Return
it's-
of the King.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's Return of the King.
Yeah.
That shit won an Oscar, bro.
Yeah,
That movie's-
and bro, it's so weird that when your mind has these engraved scenes in your head, that when you watch the other ones that you haven't watched that much, you're like, wait, what? Like when they touch up on like that octopus thing before they
Yeah.
go into the
Yeah.
mines of
Mhm.
Moria,
Yeah.
like that's not part of the actual like released cut or whatever. Like most people don't even know about that scene.
Mhm.
That's like you got to watch it in the extended version or whatever.
There was another one where they went to like the Elvish area with the Elvish witch. And
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
scene was like insanely extended.
It's also
and I was
super
like,
creepy.
Whoa, yeah, super.
What were they
She
doing?
scared the shit out of me. It was when
Was she
Frodo.
talking to them while they were
Yeah.
walking through?
Yeah.
I think that's when
Yeah.
Frodo tries to give her the ring.
Yes,
And then
she
she's
like
essentially
turns
like,
into
"Yo,
a
yeah,
ghost.
no,
That shit scared the fucking out of me.
Galadriel, I believe, is her name.
Something like that.
Galadriel.
And she's also touched up on the Rings of Power.
Yep.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a powerful bitch, bro.
Yeah, she's that bitch
she is a
for
powerful.
sure.
But dude, man, like, because the first time I ever watched it was my only reference was the movies. But when I started diving more into the lore of it, I'm
The
like,
books?
this shit goes
Deep.
Yeah.
Like,
Yo, he fucking token created languages.
Yeah,
Like, dude, like,
fucking-
bro, insane.
He's an interesting
man.
guy.
Very interesting guy for sure.
He's the Hobbits too, bro. Those are
Mhm.
really
All
good
that
also.
universe is connected, bro.
Yeah, the Hobbit. They're books.
Yeah. And
Books,
then that's
man.
all connected to I'm sure you kind of know a little bit of like Morgor and like everything it connects to that and how like they have like the realm of like the angels and stuff.
Mhm.
And that's where
Yep.
like
Like they send
Gandalf
certain
comes
beings
from,
down.
yeah. Like the five wizards or however many of them were being sent down from like the heavens.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It really
Like
gets on that shit.
Gandalf is technically an angel. Like it's
Yeah.
I
like
thought he
how-
was God.
Uh,
He's there to- yeah.
Saruman,
and then he went crazy. He got
He's like the
corrupted.
devil.
Yeah,
Like,
he's like
kind of.
shit in his head.
But like like the all right, like
Yeah, that's the blue wizard. I forget his name.
like like how like in the Bible how they talk about who like how the
Like
devil-
duality?
Yeah, like how
Yeah.
he came. Like there was that one angel who came to Earth and like bad. That's like Saruman. Like he's in that aspect. He's that one.
No, I think that would wait.
Saruman's the bad one. He's the one
The
who like
main bad guy though,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah, that
No,
yeah.
Sauron is the man.
Sauron.
Yeah,
Saruman
that's-
is the wizard.
wizard. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Saruman.
So I would consider Sauron being like the fallen angel then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe. Yeah.
That's what they're kind of. I don't know if you guys have watched Rings of Power, but
I couldn't get into it.
this is showing you
You're
like
sleeping on it.
Yeah.
before he became
Production
this,
is crazy.
It's going even further back.
Yeah.
So like when Galadriel was young, because we meet Galadriel, she already has her whole little.
She's already the
witch.
The protector of the forest. I forget what exactly what the name of it.
It's called Lothlorien.
There, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's the protector of the forest at the point that Frodo meets her.
And she's the one that sent the elves to go help them in Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
Galadriel sent them to go help them. Remember when the elves showed up at the last fucking second
in the movie?
At Helm's Deep and
Two Towers.
Yes.
Yeah, the elves showed up. Galadriel sent them.
Bro.
Yeah.
That scene. Which one is it where Legolas goes down on the
shield? That's exactly.
Yeah,
that's the Two Towers. That sounds deep.
Yeah.
That scene is top tier. Those fight scenes in that movie
gotta go watch my breakdown, man.
I want to be a part of one of those breakdowns for sure. Those shits are cool, but I will go watch it though. That movie has some of the illest fight scenes, I think. And like you said, the fact that it isn't CGI is fucking bananas to me. Like, I didn't really process that until you just said that to me earlier. Like, because I'm looking like all the orcs are actual just humans, bro. Like, just crazy.
Well,
and all the makeup is different.
Not all of them,
unique.
but like, for example, well, obviously, like, I mean, I guess you can use your logic for this, but in those scenes where there's thousands of them, they only use like 80 or 100.
Yeah.
Like they did use a good amount of like actual actors.
CGI.
And then I was gonna say, and then they replicated like CGI fucking mobs. But the thing that I still find cool about Lord of the Rings is they didn't really use a lot of CGI in that movie. A lot of it is actual, like, I don't know what to call it, but it's like costume and like prosthetic work.
Yeah.
Versus just like, oh, just draw it on a computer. And there's a certain sense of like magic to that, where I think you pretty much described it, that it's coming to the test of time, or how'd you word it?
Oh, it stands the
test of time. There, like, that's like the best way to describe how I feel about Lord of the Rings. That even with the massive technological advances that we've made, when that movie came out to this point, you watch it and like it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just, again, one of those movies that like you're in it. Like, I watch that shit and I'm like, motherfucker, I'm in Middle Earth right now. Like, I'm in fucking Middle Earth right now.
The score, bro, the music. That's what
the
really
whole
brings
soundtrack.
you in.
Yeah.
That's what brings
tying
you in,
into
bro.
what I was saying earlier, where like, when they start doing a really good job at tying music and like soundtrack to film, there's something that just clicks in my brain that just it gives it chef's kiss.
And when it just hits at the right time, like the perfect fucking time, man.
And it's crazy to think that the Lord of the Rings is one of those examples of like, such as like Interstellar, where their soundtrack isn't really like songs. It's like orchestrated songs.
Yes,
oh yeah, bro. Scores, bro.
Yes.
Scores, man. That man Hans Zimmer is a motherfucking genius.
It's kind of crazy to think that, like, their soundtrack. Like, I can picture the dun 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 dun. Like, every time that like they switch over to like a Mordor scene, like it's just so powerful.
It's like, I know where I'm at now.
Yep.
I know exactly where I'm at.
I know exactly where, like, what like the scene represents off of soundtrack alone. And same thing with like Interstellar.
Bro, I think all Christopher Nolan's movies have
touch.
All Christopher Nolan's movies. You said it earlier, where like I wanted to speak on it earlier when you were talking about his movies, but he has that like
the synchronicity.
His movies with his scores go so hand in hand and so well blended that they become a part of like,
and they become emotion.
Yeah, like exactly.
It's crazy.
Like they become a part of like his films. Is like his scores. Him and Hans Zimmer together are fucking synonymous, dude. Like, think of all the Dark Knight trilogy, like the whole Batman trilogy. Think of Interstellar. Think of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Dunkirk, but think of Dunkirk.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen Dunkirk.
Bro, he's all Christopher Nolan's movies.
Yeah, he's really good
has crazy ass like scores to it that make the movie and the scenes come like
100.
They like blow up 1,000 times more, bro, because it's like just mixing. Honestly,
And I want to say Quentin does a good job at that.
he does too. Yeah,
Scorsese does a good job.
Yeah,
Like, there's a handful of them that when they really, really tie all that shit in together, I think that's part of why we come to love those certain directors.
While we're on
this,
this,
they tie that shit together very well.
Facts. But while we're on this topic, I want. Have you guys heard of this show? It's on Netflix. It's called The Movies That Made Us.
No,
I have.
Bro,
I haven't dabbled into it.
You have to watch it, bro. It is.
I started watching the first episode that it's about the Last Action Hero, and they kind of lost me because I never really was a big fan of the Last Action Hero.
Fair, but there are way more better movies on there. So essentially, what it is it's about like classic movies that almost never came about and how they came about. And as you guys both seem like, as well as myself, like that you guys love production and direction and appreciate the craft of movies, watch that shit, bro. Because, bro, like Dirty Dancing is on there. How Dirty Dancing became about.
Fucking
Classic
put
movie.
baby in a corner,
bro. That line was almost didn't even happen. Like Patrick Swayze hated that line.
No way.
Like the scene where the classic scene where he jumps off the stage and like lands and then starts dancing.
Yeah.
Yo, they shot that scene like 20 times, bro. And on the last one, because he had a bad knee, he's like, yo, if I don't get it this one, that's it. Came the magic shot. Him and Baby hated each other. Like, actually did not like each other because they worked with each other on Red Dawn. And like, bro, there's so much detail that goes into these movies. And I'm just like, but the thing about Dirty Dancing, the reason why I bring that one up is because the music in that movie is what makes you feel that like you're in that movie so like they made you feel like you were in the 50s so well with the type of production, the camera, the clothing, just the cars, the music, the atmosphere, and it was only shot in 2 places essentially. Like that movie is so dope. But dude, the Elf is on there, Ghostbusters is on there, Home Alone is on there. Like a bunch of cult classic movies are on there and like how they came about. I feel like you guys should check that out, bro. I feel like you guys would enjoy it.
The movies that made us.
Yeah. Friday the 13th is on there, Nightmare on Elm Street,
Ooh, nice.
Halloween. Like, did you know that the first Halloween, like Michael Myers, like they didn't even really like they didn't even have a name for his character. It was just like they called him the thing. Like
Really?
Yeah, like it was just like because he was just if you like really think about it in the first movie, Michael Myers really doesn't do any acting. He just has a lot of scenes where he just pops out of shit. Like it's just a lot of snapshots of him just like, and it's like that's it. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't say a word. He doesn't have any like nothing.
He just
nothing.
creepily appears.
Yeah, he's just like it's just snapshots of this thing, like of this person. It's pretty dope. Y'all should check it out.
All right.
So you gave us your whole 5, bro?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right, baby. Everybody, your last words. We're gonna close this thing out. We got plenty more. I can't let y'all say everything. We gotta save some of this shit.
Facts. So what was your top 5? You're like
my top 5 was Lord of the Rings. It was the Nolan Batman series. It was the Rush Hour series. It was iRobot and the Wolverine.
What's your bonus movie?
Snatch was my bonus.
Snatch is smooth. Solid, man. This was dope.
Man. Let's start it with Sue, man. Last words for the people that have been here listening to this conversation.
Shout out to everybody. Hey, shout out to everybody that's been tuning in to my bro and the Shinobi podcast. Keep supporting. This shit is dope. Shout out to the boys. Shout out to you. Shout out to Smoov. Jorge. Thank you guys for having me, man. It's always a pleasure. It was fun. I enjoyed this episode a lot because I'm like a movie fanatic. So like I really enjoyed this. But yeah, man, tune in, bro. There's definitely gonna be a lot more fun subjects and dope topics, deep conversations, and just all types of dope shit. You know what I mean? Trill shit that we're gonna talk about and have fun with on this podcast, man. I always look forward to coming back here and tapping in with you guys again, man. Peace and love.
All right, baby. Mr. Smoov, go ahead and hit him.
Yeah. Can you hear me well?
Yep, we got
you. Perfect. I pull my headphones out. I'm in awe. That's why y'all ain't hear me talking so much because I enjoy movies, But I'm to that point in life now where I'm just like, I'm gonna kill some time with this. So let me draw and learn something from this movie. That's about it. But shit, like listening to y'all, I'm like, man, I got some more in depth I gotta do myself so I can understand y'all's mindset a whole lot more on it. But stay tuned, stay buckled in, man. We got plenty more left in the tank. Um for this season, especially for y'all. So don't run away just yet. We'll see y'all later. We'll be back. So I appreciate Tsunami. I appreciate George coming through. I always call you George always, so you're gonna have to get used
It's
to that.
Jorge.
Yeah, you can call me Jorge, bro.
Man, so we got a lot in store, man. I appreciate the fellas coming through always. That's it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. So I got some stuff on my end I'm getting ready to come out with. So stay tuned
Yes,
for that
sir.
as well. So
All right, baby. My man Jorge.
You already know what it is. It's your boy Big George from Pointy Ear Training.
Mhm.
Find me on Instagram, Pointy Ear Training, Facebook page, Pointy Ear Training. PointyEarTraining.com is my website, so you can reach me. All my info's on there as well. Just a pleasure being out here. Thank you for the invite, even though I was late, but still came out here and killed it. I'm sure I'll be on again, and always just very thankful to be on here. Thanks for allowing me to be here, Mr. Smoov and Mr. King Shinobi.
Facts.
I appreciate it. You guys are
Yeah.
fam. So thank you so much. Always
No
great
doubt.
conversations and a good time.
All right, baby. Well, there you have it, everybody. Another episode of the Shinobi podcast.
The Shinobi Podcast.
I think we only have one more episode before the second season is done, bro.
Oh,
So we're gonna
snap.
be closing out this second
this-
season real soon,
Mhm.
and taking a nice little break.
The way I see it, we're on season finale, bro. Because everybody knows season finale is episode 9, not episode 10, baby.
You heard the man. But yeah, man. Like I always say, you guys take care of yourselves. Take care of one another, man.
Mhm.
I appreciate you guys joining us, man, and
Thanks for the
Always,
invite,
man.
bro.
Always.
adding
Thanks for
this,
having
man.
us.
I would like to make this more of a normal thing, man. It just adds so much, man. And I see you guys enjoying it, and
Yeah, man. It's always a good flow of conversation whenever you have us over. Specifically, like I feel like the trio here sitting down, like we have very similar interests
Mhm.
that we can dive into pretty profound. So it's
Yeah.
pretty dope.
Which I didn't realize until today, to be honest. Like talking just about movies, I'm like, and then also with the games and shit, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, and then you dabble into music a lot too. Where I thought
Yeah.
I knew music, but then like I don't know music to your extent. You know what I mean? So it's like it's nice to hear like your perspective on things and like
Yeah.
your touch up on music and how you
For
approach
sure.
it.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. It's dope, man. Always, this shit's cool, man. I don't know. It's like it's a thing. It's like a think and drain tank. You know what I mean? Like it's a think tank where you think of ideas, and it's a drain tank because you just like shit like this. I haven't been like I can only talk about shit like this either with like some of my best friends, but like shit like this I can't. You know what I mean? Like it's not like
It's
we
hard to
had these
chop it up like
conversations,
that.
yeah, with like everybody. So
Mhm.
it's dope to dump shit out of like things that,
Yeah,
like I'm
bro.
obsessed with, like
I mean,
movies.
that's
Yeah.
what solidified our relationship. Basically, is like him coming over to the crib and just chopping it up like this, where we talked about music, we talked about movies, books, bro. Like honestly, you name it, and it was always dope that we could share our thought process of what we took away from things,
Mhm.
and let it be music, let it be fucking books, movies,
Yeah.
whatever it was, bro. Video games, like it's crazy because like that's like the dope part that I find within our friendship is that we can talk about almost anything and everything, and somehow it ends up flowing. You know, it's not forced conversation. It's also not mundane, like not like dumb everyday. Like how's the weather shit? Like
Mhm.
I probably have never even asked this man like how the weather is. You know, like that just to put in perspective the type of conversations we have. Like we've never even talked about shit like that.
Yeah.
Not even like to the point of like it's been hot lately. Like no, bro, we like jump into the nitty gritty almost right away, and that's something I really appreciate. And it's hard to find, as Tsunami was saying, it's very hard to find a safe space. So thank you for providing it.
Yeah,
Thank you for
man.
providing it.
Man, I love hearing that. It warmed my heart. But yeah, man, that's a space I've always wanted to create, because it's that same space to me. So I invite all that want to share that space, and contribute to it,
Thank you,
and
brother.
just have some good conversations, and it's just fun. It's just good. It's well invested time. You know what I'm saying? So, shit, we pretty much did this today. That's our day. It's been a good, great fucking day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Fantastic.
I'm at a point in my life where people that I fuck with and the time that I spend with certain people, man,
It's vital.
it's vital, and I gotta keep that shit like minor. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I can't allow too many people access. Just because, like you guys said, how it's hard to have these conversations. You talk to a lot of people, and you really realize that it's going to really stay a surface level thing.
Yeah, almost immediately too,
then
which is crazy.
you just accept that. So it's good to have people that you can like expound on things, even if it was just games or whatever we talk about.
Right.
We talk about anything and make it interesting. So it's great to have that feedback that this is that kind of space for you guys. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's been part of my intentions of this whole thing. So that's good to hear. All right, everybody. We're gonna close this thing out. Chill out. Probably kick Tsunami ass in Tekken.
Oh,
If you want some.
let's do it, bro. I haven't played
You too,
Tekken.
Nate.
Oh, I don't know you weren't
Bet you won't
talking
live
to me,
record it.
'cause I'm not getting my ass hit, bro.
Bet y'all won't live record that.
Bro, listen, I'm not even
I'm
claiming
here
to
for
be
that.
good
I'm-
at Tekken, bro.
That's how confident I am.
Hey.
Run it.
I'm excited to play, but I don't.
I'm trash at Call of Duty, bro, because I started playing like first-person shooting games like that with Black Ops. Like that was the first-person shooter game that I really picked up and took seriously. Other than that, like gun games never interested me.
Dude, I love
So,
Ghost Recon.
Fighting and car games are my shit. My shit.
Fighting games are dope. My favorite car game though is Midnight Club LA.
That was the shit.
Dub
That was the shit.
Dub Edition.
That was the shit.
I didn't play Dub Edition.
It was like an extended edition. They're like had
Dub edition was.
That was
the
like
shit.
all
and
the
then
big ass
even the
vehicles, right?
soundtrack was a little different too. But yeah, Dub Edition was my shit, bro.
Yeah,
I
Midnight
remember
Club LA was
I've seen
sick.
so many. Oh, that's so cool that you brought that up because I've seen so many videos of like, because you had motorcycles in that too,
Uh-huh.
and I've seen videos of people that are like in the bike and car community that have made like reels that are like, I don't know, like 2008 or whatever the fuck, driving around at night for no reason, and it's like footage of like Midnight Club or like Need for Speed or something like that, and they're driving around like just around town and
Yeah.
shit, and it's like 2023, and that shows them either in their like nice sporty car or on their motorcycle, and like that like resonates with me so fucking hard of me just like driving around at night